Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Become the Strongest Being in Multiverse Season 1 Part 3. Before we start, please go support John 354 for writing that awesome fanfic. Now let's begin. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Issei is a male in this story. Chapter 46. Issei and company appeared at Issei's apartment. Alice. Where we are. Issei. In my house. Alice. How small she is. Issei. Well, I live alone, I don't need anything else. Ingvald. It's cozy. Issei. Thank you, well, I'll go look for a house, it's still early and what will you do? Ingvald. I'll go with you, I don't have anything to do, really. Alicia. I'll go too so you can show me the place. Issei. Well, then you decide which one is the best since well, I'm not very good at choosing houses. Alicia. If so, I'll make you spend a lot. Issei. It's okay and I've saved a lot of money and I have many missions. Ingvald. Missions of what? Issei. Destroy some Chaos Brigade bases among other things. Ingvald. Great, you are very strong. Through Alice. Alicia. If I think it's too much, tell me, have you ever had a difficult fight? Issei. All my fights are difficult. But let's leave that topic, what if we leave? The two girls just nodded and left the apartment and went to look for a house. After hours of searching they finally managed to find a house with 5 rooms. Issei. Go to the end if they looked for a big one. Alicia. I told you, I have to live comfortably. Issei. I can tell. Well, this took us a long time, let's go have something to eat. The group left the house and walked through the city while Issei showed them. Ingvald was surprised by the changes and how calm she was, and for Alicia everything was normal, but she didn't say anything. After dinner and walking they returned to the house. When they were in the room, Issei received a call from Serafal. Issei. Hello Serafal, something's wrong. Serafal. Seriously, where you've been, I couldn't contact you for 2 days, and I couldn't find you. Issei. Yes, I had something to do, sorry. Serafal. Okay, but let me know next time. Issei. Okay, I'll do it. Serafal. Okay, and tell me you're not busy right now. Issei. Nothing happened at all. Serafal. Nothing happened, tell me, do you have time to come to the underworld to tell you something? Issei. Sure. Serafal. Fine, I'll go get you. Issei. Wait, before you come I have to tell you that I'm moving. Serafal. And that. Issei. I'll tell you, then I'll send you the address and I'll wait for you. At that point he hangs up and sends her the address since it was not known yet. Alice. What did I want? Issei. I don't know, I have to go to the underworld, they have something to tell me. Alicia. I see, I'll go too. I haven't gone in years. Ingvald. I want to know what the truth is like. Issei. Okay. Alicia. How easily you accept. Issei. Well, if I say no in the end I would accept. Alice. You are absolutely right. Issei just let out a small sigh. After a few minutes someone knocked on the door and Issei went to open it, and as he did so someone hugged him. Serafal. How are you? Issei. Good, and you? Serafal. Well then we'll go. Issei. Yes, but 2 more people will come. Serafal. Who? Issei. Let's go so you can meet them. At that they both went to the living room and Serafal was surprised to see someone. Issei. Well, she is Nyx, the goddess of the night, and she is Ingvald Leviathan. Serafal's eyes widened upon hearing the middle name. Serafal. What? Issei. Well, I'll tell you again. Serafal. It's not that I just didn't know there was another Leviathan besides Kateria. Ingvald. Well, I lived in the human world my whole life, so no one knows about me, plus I'm half human. Serafal. I see then, a pleasure, my name is Serafal Leviathan. Ingvald. I know Issei told me a lot about you. Serafal. Well, now that there is another Leviathan you can. Ingvald. I won't, you can keep that position. Plus I'm not that strong and I don't like sitting for too long. Serafal. I thought you would accept. Ingvald. Well, it's not like that. Serafal. Understood. That's when he sets his sights on Alice. And Serafal bows. Serafal. Nice to meet you. Alicia. Yes, whatever you say. Issei. Hey. We already talked about this. Alicia just clicks her tongue. Alicia. Well, a pleasure, I say too. Issei. You never learn, but well, let's go. Serafal just nodded and the group teleported to the underworld. Ingvald. Not much change. Issei. That's what I thought too when I first came. Since they appeared outside the meeting room building after seeing a little bit they entered the place. After a few minutes of talking they entered the large room where the leaders and company were. Issei. Hello everyone. Those present only greeted him as well and were surprised to see a person. Auden. Nyx brings you here. Alicia. She was bored and I came. Auden. But how did you meet? Issei. It's easy, I was bored and went to Greece to see Erite and well she appeared out of nowhere and attacked me. The group was a little surprised to hear that. It was little since they knew what Issei was like to meet people. Isaka. And what happened? Issei. Well, she sent me a large army, I think there were 2,000 from what she said. Alicia expected her surprise, but noticed that they were calm. Alicia. What happened to the surprise? Surzich. Well, the truth is, Issei has already fought alone with a large army. Alice. From stories. Auden. There were thousands and they were ice giants, and they fought for almost 5 days without stopping. She said it as if it were nothing, but Alicia's eyes were wide open when she heard that because it was impossible. She was going to say something, but Roswis approached her and showed her a video, and Alicia was shocked to see such a massacre. Alicia. You're quite a monster, really. Issei. I'm a human. Alicia. Yes, whatever you say. Issei. Well, I fought with her army, and then I was going to fight her, but she was still just as proud because she had a suit I don't know what, and well, in the end I beat her. Azazel. Hahaha, what a way for you to meet people. Alicia. Shut up or you want to fight. Azazel didn't say anything else. Michael. Tell me, Issei, and who is she? Trying to change the topic. Issei. She is my friend and her name is Ingvald Leviathan. Everyone was surprised to hear that. And Ingvald had to explain everything again. Auden. Boy, I don't know what to say. Issei. Don't say anything and they'll tell me what's going on. Surzich. Well, we have a meeting with Zeus Dono for an alliance, and we wanted to know if you want to go with a group as a representative. Issei. Okay. Serafal. You accept very quickly. Issei. The truth is that I'm curious about what Olympus is like and knowing the gods. Alicia. Hey, here I am. Issei. Yes, but I say like Zeus and Poseidon since well a while ago I saw a movie about them. Everyone broke out in sweat when they found out the reason. Issei. And who will go? Azazel. Michael, Auden, Sama, you and me. And someone to accompany us. Issei. I see, I can bring company too. Azazel just nodded. Issei. Ingvald will be fine with me since well, she's still not used to being alone. Ingvald. Thank you. Azazel. I had a doubt for a few minutes, maybe you have a sacred gear. Ingvald. Yes, her name is Nerid Kiri. Azazel. I see she is a very good Longinus. Surzich. Do you know which one she is? Azazel. Sure, but I don't know much. I only know that he is capable of controlling the sea and the dragons. Everyone was surprised to hear that. Issei. Well, when we leave. Surzich. In 2 days I hope things go well for you. And don't get into trouble, Issei. Issei. Because in the end it's not my fault. Alice. Maybe you have them. Issei. Don't say that, in the end I'll just go sit down and talk to Eride for a bit. Alice. Whatever you say. Issei. You're right. Alicia. Obviously not. Issei didn't say anything else, and after a little more talk everyone returned to her house. Chapter 47. Issei and company quickly arrived in Greece with the help of Alicia, who at first refused but in the end accepted thanks to Issei. Issei. How long until we get there? Alicia. We will arrive in a few minutes. You must go through the entrance. Issei. I see. Gabriel, I'm glad you sold your Penemu and Ross was there too. Penemu? I had nothing to do. Azazel. Hey, no. He couldn't finish his sentence since Penemu gave him a serious look that scared him, so he stood behind Michael out of fear. Issei. Okay. After a few minutes of walking they reached their destination. When they arrived, the den stopped them, but with just a look from Alicia they let them in. In doing so she guided them to Zeus. Zeus. I'm glad you've arrived now. Although I'm surprised to see you here. Alicia. I was bored so I came. While Issei and Roswis went to see her friend and she happily greeted them, some who were there were surprised to see that she was talking to other people. Zeus. Well, since there is no rush for this, its inhabitants can relax and are ready. Auden. Thank you. Zeus. We haven't seen each other in a while. Auden. I say the same, you have something new. Zeus. Sure, follow me. At this time they are there. Auden. Hey, Azazel, you're coming. Azazel. Obviously yes. At that, the three left the place quickly, some of them guided their guests to their rooms. After settling in, they went for a walk. Issei. This place is great, Eride. Eride. Thank you, I will guide you to several places. Ingvald. The truth is that I am excited to see new places. Alice. This is boring. Issei. Then why are you following us? Alice. I have nothing to do. After a few hours of walking and getting to know new places, not without attracting attention since Penemu and Gabriel were with him, several men approached him, but they were all rejected. Some girls wanted to get closer to Issei, but with some looks from the girls they didn't even get close. After that walk they were still in a large dining room where the leaders were with some people talking. Alicia. What a long time without seeing you. Athena and Aphrodite. Athena. I've been saying the same thing for years. Giving him a smile. Aphrodite. What brings you here? Alicia. I was bored and well I kept them company. Athena. How did you meet them, or rather why you didn't do anything? Alicia. It's a long story that I'll leave for later. At that everyone takes their seats. Issei was going to do it, but someone stopped him. Hey, don't you see that this meeting is only for important people, not for servants? She said it with a big smile. Issei. I came with them. Yes, of course, you're just a filthy human. Some girls were upset when they heard that. Alicia. Hey, Ares, it's better that he doesn't cause a scandal, and he's right, he's coming with them. Ares. How is it possible, being a human I don't see anything in him? Well, what does it matter, get out of here, I don't want my food to be ruined by your presence. Zeus. Ares, enough, don't cause a scandal. Issei. Okay, I'll go, I don't want any problems. Starting to walk towards the exit. Ingvald. Wait, Issei, I'll go with you. Getting up from his seat. Gabriel. I'll go anyway. Enemu. Also, if he is not welcome I am not welcome either. Roswis. I say the same thing. Alicia. My hunger is gone with you, here I will go with them. Some were surprised to see how the leaders stood up from their exact place, since they know how well they get along with Issei. Ares. Maybe they're out of pity. He said it with mockery. Alicia. Hey, stop it. Ares. I'm just telling the truth, how pretty ladies would go with someone as weak as him. Gabriel. Because he is kind and someone very strong. Ares just started laughing. Some who were there also laughed lightly at what he said. The leaders just let out a sigh and Zeus noticed. Zeus. Hey, what's up? Odin. Believe it or not, that boy is very strong. Zeus. Like. Odin. I don't even know how I got to that great level, but it's better that you stop this. If they make him angry we don't know what could happen. Ares. Maybe you're crazy. Why don't you better come with me so we can make the alliance? She said it with a big smile. Gabriel was a little scared and took a step back. That's what the leaders saw Issei. Michael, Azazel and Odin. It's too late now. Knowing what would happen. Issei. Hey, don't talk to her like that. Ares. Oh, you plot rash. Issei. I dare you. When he said those words, most people's eyes were wide and Ares just laughed. Ares. You're not joking. Maybe a god can against me. Issei. I don't care about that. Do you accept or not? Ares. Well, if you want to die, so be it. It will be early tomorrow. Issei. Well, see you there. Leaving the room with the girls, leaving only Alicia. At that she lets out a sigh. Athena. You're not afraid of something being done to your friend? Alice. Not really. Aphrodite. Because. Alicia. You'll see it tomorrow. Leaving the room seconds later, Ares also left the place. Zeus. I think it's a little late to interfere. Odin. Just prepare some doctors for Ares. Athena. Because he doesn't care about his friend. Odin. That boy is too strong. Aphrodite. As if he is just a human, I didn't feel anything in him. Odin. I know, but that boy beat up my son Loki a long time ago. Plus he lifted Thor's hammer like it was nothing. That surprised those present. Zeus. As he did. Odin. With only strength. Azazel. Plus he's had many dangerous missions on his own. Odin. Also in Asgard he is someone very respected, everyone loves him. Athena. Because. Odin. I asked him as a favor a long time ago to accompany my army to stop the ice giants, but the number of the enemy was greater that in the end they had to retreat, but they couldn't, so Issei was left alone so that the rest could escape. Aphrodite. How did you survive? You arrived in time. Odin. No, the portal didn't work, so he was left alone for almost 5 days. He fought for that time non-stop, he didn't sleep or eat. Zeus. Don't play with me, old man. At that Odin shows her a recording of the massacre that Issei did on her behalf, leaving the gods in shock. Seeing how he fought on his own. Athena. But how is that possible? Michael. He's done things that none of us could do. Odin. That's why I tell you to have a doctor ready, because what that boy hates most is having his friends bothered. Zeus. Even if I wanted to, I can't. Ares is a very stubborn person. Odin. Then I wish you luck. Aphrodite. He is an interesting boy who has achieved so many things on his behalf. Azazel. He has earned the respect of many people and he fights without asking for anything in return. Michael. He is someone with a good heart despite what his life has been like, he keeps going with a smile. Athena. How has his life been? Azazel. Very hard, his brother were born with sacred gear and magic and he was born with nothing, so his parents never wanted him. He was abandoned by his family, leaving him alone at such a young age. But he still moved forward. Athena. That's too bad. Azazel. Despite those things, he has not sought revenge. He has gotten ahead helping others and is someone who has my respect. Athena. I can see it. I wish you luck tomorrow. Zeus. Well, it's only to be expected. After talking for a few more minutes and having dinner, everyone also went to rest to watch the fight that would take place the next day. Chapter 48. The next day, thanks to some who broke the news, a large stadium was filled to watch the fight. Gabriel. Issei, don't do this, yeah. Issei. No Gabriel, I have to do it. I don't like it when my friends are insulted. Enemu. Be careful, we will be supporting you. Eride. I hope the sword I gave you helps you. Issei. I will take good care of her. Eride. It doesn't matter if your fight destroys it. Issei just nodded and said goodbye to the rest of the group and walked out to the battlefield where Ares was waiting with some weapons. Ares. Ready, brat. Issei. Anytime. Ares. You plan to fight with that useless weapon. Issei. Weapons aren't really my style, but I'll do my best. Heading into attack pose. While in the stance. Alice. This will be interesting. Athena. How did you know him? Alicia. I fought with him and he really beat me up and well, I like him. Aphrodite. That you say that is a bit scary, honestly. Alicia didn't care and she saw that the fight started. At that both of them went to the attack with swords in hand. Both began to clash swords at great speed, surprising some since a human was fighting one of their own. Ares. You're not doing a bad job, brat, but this ends here. Destroying the sword, the Issei sword. Issei. Well, I hope Eride doesn't scold me. Throwing the sword to the ground. Ares. You plan to fight with your fists. Issei. The truth is I'm more into fists than weapons. Going on the attack and Ares confidently stood there. Without thinking twice, Issei punched him in the stomach, sending him flying and becoming embedded in the wall. Some were shocked to see that. Ares. I didn't expect it, but that won't be enough. Climbing out of some rubble. Issei. I know. Going to the attack again, Ares defended himself against the attack with his sword, but Issei kicked him, sending him flying again. Ares, already upset, went to the attack. But Issei managed to dodge his attacks. Ares. Stay still, brat. Issei didn't say anything and continued until he decided to go on the attack too. Giving him a big kick that sent him flying. When he was about to fall, he hit him with his hand, sending him crashing into a wall again. Zeus. The boy doesn't fight badly, but you won't have an easy time since the armor that Ares uses is very resistant. The others didn't say anything since they wanted to continue watching the fight. Ares. I'm bored of this, it's time to finish. While he dusted off his suit. Ares. Then one of those girls will be mine. She said it with a smile. Issei. If you want to finish this, so be it. He started walking with his eyes down. Seconds later he moved at great speed, hitting her a few times. When he fell to the ground, he picked him up again and hit him several times. When he gave him the last blow he sent him flying, and when he fell to the ground he picked him up again and slammed him to the ground with great force. Without stopping, Issei lifted him into the air and hit him in the stomach, making him spit out a lot of blood from the blow. Those present were scared when they saw what was happening. They saw how the god of war was being massacred with no opportunity to get up. Aphrodite. What's wrong? Alice. You didn't listen to what stupid Ares said. Athena. Not what he said. Alicia. That he was going to do something to the angel and well now see the result of his words. Aphrodite. He cares so much about her. Alicia. Not only her, but all the friends he has, he would fight non-stop for them. That's what I know. While they continued watching the fight, Ares was standing in the center upset as a human was giving him a big fight. Issei. Sorry. Ares. Screw you. At that Issei begins to run towards him at a great speed that everyone started seeing clones of Issei. When he arrived at Ares, everyone gave him a big beating. Seconds later Ares was on the ground with destroyed armor and broken bones. And spitting blood. Ares. You are a monster. He said it weakly. Issei. This monster has people to defend. Putting his foot on Ares' head causing him to bury himself in the ground and spit out more blood. Everyone was shocked to see what he did. After that Issei took his foot off of him and started walking towards the exit. Zeus called the doctors to start healing him. Odin. I told you, that boy is not normal. Zeus. I already realized, but that outburst of fury is not normal. Odin. The truth rarely gets like that. Those words made him angry. Zeus. I realize that. Tell me Odin, you could beat him in your best moment. Odin. I don't know, even if you don't believe it, that boy keeps a lot of his power, I don't know what his limit is. Zeus. I see. But he left Ares in a sorry state. Odin. You should be thankful I didn't kill him. Zeus. Well, you have a point there. All the girls looked everywhere for Issei with the help of Alicia, Athena and Aphrodite, and also Eride since they knew the place better. After a few minutes of searching they found him standing looking at a large garden. They slowly approached Issei until he heard her footsteps and she turned around and gave them a small smile. Issei. Something's wrong. Alicia. It's serious because you left like that. Issei. The truth is when I fight I like to see something that relaxes me so I forget that moment. And that he notices two people. Issei. I hope you forgive me for leaving your partner like this. Making a bow that surprised both goddesses. Aphrodite. It's not your fault and don't apologize for it's always been like this. Athena. So don't worry. Issei. I see and forgive my manners, my name is Issei, pleasure. Giving them both a smile. Athena. Nice to meet you Issei, my name is Athena. Aphrodite. My name is Aphrodite, my pleasure. Issei. And this fight won't affect the alliance, I don't want problems. Athena. Okay, this won't affect anything. Issei. Oh thank goodness. Letting out a sigh making all the girls laugh at that. Gabriel. Issei, thank you for defending me. Issei. I would do anything for my loved ones, you and the others are the only thing I have. Those words only made the girls blush since she said it honey. Issei. Oh and sorry for destroying your sword Eride. Eride. Okay, I told you there would be no problem. Issei. Well, I'll go change and then, well, I don't know what you said. Athena. I'll show you a very nice place. Issei. Great, I'll be back in a few minutes. Leaving the place quickly. Aphrodite. She has a lot of energy and is very happy. Roswis. He has always been like that, that's why I'm glad to be next to him. Aphrodite. He is your boyfriend. Roswis. No. She said it blushing. Aphrodite. And who is your partner? Enemu? Well, the truth is none. Athena. Why not? Gabriel. I think he wants to wait for the war to end and then we'll do it. Athena. What do you mean by that? Gabriel. We all like Issei, but we wait for the right moment. The girls confirmed. Athena. Even your Eride and Alicia. Eride. Well I will never find someone like him so I have no problems. Alice. I don't know. You'll find out later and he's also someone interesting. Aphrodite. This is quite a surprise, really. Enemu. Issei is someone unique, he is someone irreplaceable, we want him, but we have to wait. Roswis. We're not in a hurry and he's fun to be with. At that moment Issei arrived and the entire group began walking to continue exploring the place. Chapter 49. Issei was walking around getting to know the place more. There were still 2 days left before he returned to Japan again, and during his stay in Olympus, several people greeted him respectfully since they saw his battle and were somewhat afraid of him. But Issei did not take much importance, he only cared about protecting his loved ones. While he was walking, it was night and he passed near a park and he noticed that he was alone. He saw a bench and Tomo nodded. Issei. It's a nice place, too bad the girls were busy helping the leaders. Letting out a sigh he looked up at the sky to see the stars and a smile formed on his face since it was a beautiful night. While he was lost in thought someone spoke to him who was sitting next to him. It's a beautiful night. Issei. Yes it is, but I didn't see how you got here. I'm very fast. Issei. I see and if he is here with me it must be for a reason. You're a smart boy and if I need to talk to you about something important. Issei. And about what? The truth is I only came to kill you that easily. Issei. And that's because I haven't done anything to get your attention. Of course, as I did something, you hurt my younger sister and I will not forgive you for that and you can also interfere with Hades-sama's plans and the Alliance of Hell. Issei. What is this about the Alliance of Hell? That's the first I've heard. You don't deserve to know, plus you're going to die for corrupting my sister. Issei. Before you kill me, first I want to know who your sister is. This is Nyx. Issei. I see then this is Alicia. The man was a little surprised to know that since not many people knew his name, he only told it to people he trusted. What did you do to my sister to make her tell you her name? Issei. Nothing, he just told me. You look very calm even though you are going to die soon, I don't know if you are very brave or very stupid. Issei. I'd say maybe both. When he finished saying that he flew away as he received a big blow to the face. Before hitting him, the person created a barrier so as not to attract anyone's attention. Issei. That hurt me. I see that you are still alive, well it was clear that I didn't use any force. Issei. I see then this fight will be interesting. Moving at a great speed that surprised a person and seconds later he flew thanks to a blow that Issei hit him in the face. It wasn't bad, you're not as weak as I thought. At that he got up and went to the attack and both began to bump fists. While with the girls, some were with the leaders and others were having tea. Alicia. Hey, does anyone know where Issei is? Aphrodite. She went out for a walk, you should know that she doesn't like to be on one side. Ingvald. She is someone very energetic, that's how she is in the house. Athena. You live with him. Ingvald. Yep, just like Alicia. That surprised both goddesses and they saw Alicia and she just looked away. Roswis. But from what he knows he lives in a small apartment. Ingvald. Well, he bought a house so that we could be comfortable, he is a great person. Roswis. I know. Ingvald. You can also come live with us, the house is big. Roswis. That would be a lot of trouble. Alicia. Not at all, the more the better. Roswis. I'll think about it and tell Issei what I think. Ingvald. He will happily accept, you know what he is like. Roswis just nodded, they talked a little until the others arrived. Enemu. I'm tired. Gabriel. Come on, don't complain anymore, everything is done. Ingvald. You want to have some tea. They both just nodded and minutes later Eride also arrived. Gabriel. And where is Issei? Athena. She went for a walk a long time ago, but it's strange that he doesn't come back later and later. Aphrodite. I really don't like this. Enemu. I say the same. At that moment Alicia stands up suddenly and everyone stares at her. Roswis. Something's wrong. Alicia. Not far away I feel my older brother's aura, something is wrong here. At that she begins to walk and the rest of her accompany her. After a few minutes of walking everyone was surprised as they saw Issei fighting with someone. Alicia. Hey, what are you doing, Erebus? Upon hearing that voice he turned around and saw his sister. Erebus. I come to take you back to where you belong. Alicia. I'm already a little too old for you to send me and I'm fine here. Erebus. This is not up for discussion. If you don't go with me, you know what will happen to you. Alicia. I know I will be blamed for leaving that alliance. Erebus. So you already know. Alicia. I still won't go. Athena. What alliance are you talking about? Alicia. But I'll tell you later. Erebus. So no one knows about you. Alice. Not for now. Erebus. I see then I'll say it. She is with the Hell Alliance serving Hades-sama. Everyone was surprised to know she knows, but Alicia was still serious. Erebus. She's going to betray them so come before you regret it. She was going to say something, but Issei beat her to it, already coming out of some rubble that had sent him. Issei. She won't leave with you and she won't betray us. Erebus. Why do you think that? Maybe you're an idiot. Issei. Maybe she is but I trust her even though we barely know each other, she is a friend of mine, and I know she is a good person. Alicia smiled half smilingly since it was the first time she had heard that from someone, but he heard how her brother laughed. Erebus. Wow, you're an idiot, well, if you want to die, that's how it will be. At that she moved at great speed and hit her face, but everyone was surprised since she barely moved her face. At that, Issei kicks him that sends him flying and she ran towards him, hitting him in the face since she didn't want him to get up. Erebus after the blow to his face got up and was in front of Issei. They both looked at each other seriously, but Issei just put his fingers on Erebus's chest. He was going to say something, but he received a big blow, causing him to spit out a lot of blood. The girls were surprised to see that since they saw that he did it with great ease. Enemu. Every time I am surprised to see his fighting style. Alicia. I can't deny it to you. Aphrodite. Then tell me you really belong to that group. Alicia just let out a sigh and better spoke. Alicia. That's right, we joined there to be able to eliminate the Longinus users and the main gods of each mythology and that new group called DXD. Gabriel. But the group was formed not long ago. Alicia. I know but someone informed us and well that's why I had Ingvild under my power, but when Issei defeated me and we talked a little I put that aside. Aphrodite. Okay. Alicia. Just like that you won't say anything else. Aphrodite. Well if Issei trusts you that's fine since he can stop you if you do something crazy hahaha. Alicia didn't know what to respond to those words. Roswis. It's true so don't let go of that trust that he put in you. Alicia. I know and I won't do it. Turning around and seeing how the fight was going. They all watched as Erebus used his power of darkness like Alicia, but Issei did the same. He gave a big applause that made everything disappear, leaving everyone surprised, except Alicia, since she had already seen it. Erebus. I'm tired, it's time for you to die, and then I'll take my sister. Issei. Is it me or do you like your sister, so you want to take her by force? Erebus. And what you care about is normal. Alicia. You're crazy, I'll never be with you, and I already love someone. Erebus got angry when he heard that and saw how Alicia looked at Issei. Upon noticing that, he went with more fury towards Issei. Erebus. I'll bucking kill you. Seeing him, Issei grabbed him by the neck and pinned him to the ground. Issei. Stop fighting like crazy. Taking a few steps back while Erebus stood up in some pain but felt several presences coming towards them. He just clicked his tongue in frustration and saw Issei with a deathly face. Erebus. I will return and the next time we meet I will kill you and take her. Issei. I'll be waiting for that moment. At that moment Erebus left the place and seconds later the leaders arrived with the company of Zeus who, upon seeing the great disaster, saw the group of girls and Athena approached him and told him everything. After repairing the place, everyone left so they could talk more calmly. Chapter 50. Issei and company were saying goodbye as it was time to return to the house. Issei. It was nice while it lasted. I hope we see each other again, Aphrodite and Athena. Aphrodite. I say the same thing, it was fun these days. Issei. When you want to go to Japan, tell me and I will gladly receive you. Athena. We will keep that in mind and accept your offer. Issei gave them both a hug, which they happily reciprocated. Afterwards, Issei went to Eride doing the same. Minutes later they headed home. Issei, you won't stay Alicia. Alicia. It's more fun to be by your side. Issei. It's okay and don't worry, if someone else comes back I'll defend you. Alicia. I don't doubt it and I am grateful and you should know that I can defend myself alone. Issei. I know but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Alicia. And what we will do when we return. Issei. I have to help Ingvild go to the academy and tell me you will go. Alicia. Maybe but only when you go. Issei. The truth is, I hardly go, most of the time I spend it on missions. Alicia. Because you work so much. Issei. As you know, I'm a human and well, my life is short and I want to end this war as quickly as possible so I can rest easy. Alicia didn't know what to say since he was right. The other girls had a slightly sad look when they listened since they had been listening to their conversation since they left. After a few hours of travel they arrived at their destination. When they arrived they went straight to the underworld. When they arrived they saw several people entering and leaving. Issei saw some familiar people and went to them. Issei. Griselda and Irina, how are they? Upon hearing that voice, they turned around and quickly gave him a hug. Griselda. When they came back. Issei. We just came back and I saw you and how you were. Irina. Very good although with some missions. And how was your trip to Olympus? Issei. Everything was fine, nothing interesting happened. Griselda. If you say that it's because something happened, it's not like that. Issei. You know me very well. Griselda. Of course. At that Issei told them everything that happened and surprised them to know that he fought against a god and won. Irina. You never cease to amaze me. Issei. Ha, you know I have to help. Griselda. We would like to talk more, but we have a mission, we'll talk later. Issei just nodded and continued on his way. As he did so he found Grafia. Issei. Hello Grafia, it's been a long time since I've seen you. Grafia. Well you've always been busy just like me. Issei. I know from how I see you are going to the meeting room, let's go. They both started walking. Grafia. You had a great trip. Issei. It was a good trip, everything turned out well so there is no problem. Grafia. I'm glad to hear that. Giving Issei a quality smile. Issei. I like to see that smile you have. Grafia. Thank you for your words. After a few minutes of walking and talking, they arrived at the place. Just by opening the door, a person hugged Issei. Serafal. You were late. Issei. I met some people and greeted them. Serafal. I understand, well let's sit down and listen to what happened. Issei just nodded and went to sit next to Yusaka and Gabriel. Issei could see a little sadness on Yusaka's part, but he didn't say anything since he wanted to wait for the meeting to end. After an hour of talk and surprises, the meeting ended and everyone was getting up from their seats. Issei went to where Yusaka was. Issei. Yusaka, something's wrong since I saw you, I noticed some sadness in you. Yusaka. It's nothing, don't worry. Issei. Don't lie to me Yusaka, I know you, tell me the truth, I'll help you if I can. Yusaka. I don't want to cause you any more problems. Issei. You know I would give anything to support you and others, so trust me. Yusaka. Okay. The truth is that the old men of the council compromised Kanu. Issei was surprised to hear that. Issei. That's why I didn't see her today. Yusaka. That's right. Since he found out that news, he has locked himself in his room, only asking for food. Issei. I see this as bad and I really don't like it. She doesn't deserve this, she should be happy with whoever she wants. Yusaka. Me too, but that's how those old people are who are only interested in having more power and don't care about anything else. Issei. Yes, but don't worry, I'll help you. Yusaka. And since you're going to do it, I really don't want you to have any more problems. Issei. That doesn't matter. The truth is I don't care if everyone hates me, as long as my loved ones are happy nothing else matters. Yusaka just gave him a hug which Issei reciprocated. Issei. Well, when we leave, the sooner this ends, the better. Yusaka. You shouldn't rest first. Issei. I rested along the way so I'm fine. Yusaka. Okay, we leave right now. Issei was going to say something, but a group of girls approached. Alicia. What are you talking about? Issei. I'm going to help Yusaka with something. Serafal. When you say that it only means trouble. Issei. I'm going to save Kanu from being forcibly married. That surprised the entire group. Yusaka told them what was happening and the girls got upset since they didn't like them doing that. Ingvild. Issei, I will go with you, I will support you. Alicia. I want to see what you'll do. Enemu. I have nothing to do so I'll go with you. Roswis. Since I am no longer Odin Sama's bodyguard, I have a lot of free time, so I will help with whatever I can. Gabriel. I'll help with whatever I can. Serafal. I want to get away from paperwork for a while so I'll go too. Yusaka. That's fine and you can stay at my house while all this is resolved. All the girls nodded and at the end of the conversation they got ready and headed to Kyoto. After a few minutes of travel they reached their destination. Issei. Yusaka, can you take me to Kanu's room, I want to know how she is. Yusaka. Sure, follow me. They both started walking. After a few minutes they reached their destination and Yusaka left so they could talk. Issei just knocked on the door until someone spoke. Kanu? I don't want to see anyone so don't bother me. Issei. You're bad Kanu, it's the first time I've heard you talk like that. Issei only heard a few steps and seconds later he saw how she opened the door and was going to say something, but he was quickly hugged. He didn't say anything and hugged her back while he stroked her hair. After a few minutes they separated from the hug and entered the room so they could talk. Kanu? It's not that it bothers me that you're here, but what are you doing here? Issei. Yusaka already told me the situation. Kanu just lowered her head and let out some tears. Kanu? I don't want to marry that guy, I don't like him at all, and I could feel bad intentions coming from him. Issei got up from her seat and hugged her again, she quickly reciprocated. Issei. That's why I'm here to help you. I'll do my best so you don't marry that person. Kanu? Because you do that. Issei. I promised myself that I would take care of my loved ones, and you are one of them Kanu. Kanu? Thank you for those words. Issei. I'm just telling the truth so don't worry I'll fix all this. So get up and leave this room because Yusaka is worried about you. Kanu? I know. Lowering his head while she had her ears down, Issei saw that and wanted to touch them since she looked cute with her ears and tails. Kanu noticed that look and put on a smile. Kanu? You want to touch them, don't you? Issei. What I'm denying you is that you look pretty in them and well, they must be soft. Kanu just let out a small laugh and approached Issei. Kanu? Touch them if you want, don't worry. Issei. Thank you. At that she starts touching the ears and was surprised to know how soft they were. After a few seconds she finished and Kanu had a red face. Issei. Thank you, it was really nice. Kanu? That's what I should say, it was nice. Plus you're the first person I've let do it. Issei. I feel lucky to hear that. Kanu? I can tell. Well you should go with the rest I'll be there shortly. Take a bath. Issei just nodded and left the place. Minutes later Kanu arrived and Yusaka gave her a hug which she reciprocated since she needed it. Then he greeted the rest and night came and everyone had dinner while talking about anything. Some of those things were like breaking off the engagement. Issei didn't say anything because if they didn't do it on her behalf, he would use her fists to make them leave her alone. Chapter 51. It was a new day and everyone was having breakfast. Issei. Yusaka you will talk to them today. Yusaka. If I just hope there are no problems. Issei. Don't worry, nothing bad will happen. Serafal. You also have the support of the other factions. Yusaka. Thank you. Over time, those old men have believed themselves to be the leaders here and I can't do much now. Serafal. I understand you, those in the underworld are only interested in gaining more power. Issei. And because they haven't committed you like your sister. Serafal. Well, Sona said that she would only marry someone who beat her in a game of chess and they can't force me thanks to my position as mass. Issei. I see and that's good, it's the same thing that you don't. Enemu. Well in my case they can't force me because they already know what my temperament is like. Gabriel. My brother help him so that nothing happens. Issei. They have a hard time, but they know if they need help, you tell him. They all nodded. Issei. Well with that said, it's time, no. Yusaka. That's right. Issei. Don't worry Kanu, I'm here and I'll take care of you. Kanu. Thank you very much. After a few minutes the group headed to another building to talk to the council. When we got there were 6 old men gathered. And a young man with a big smile that scared Kanu a little. Issei only made a serious face when he saw him. Counselor 1. Yusaka don't know why did I summon us here. Yusaka. I come to say that my daughter should not get married. She will only marry the person she wants. That only bothered the council since they did not like that they would be contradicted. Counselor 3. We already talked about this and it has been said. Young Kanu-sama will marry young Jack here. Kanu. But I don't want to get married yet. Jack. Don't worry, I'll take good care of you. Giving her a fake smile that every woman present knew wasn't pleasant. Yusaka. I'm sorry young Jack-sama, but this is my decision. Counselor 5. You should know that this is not up for discussion, period. Yusaka. I'm not playing so. Counselor 2. So nothing and everything has been said. He said it upset. At that Issei takes a few steps forward. Issei. Hey, old man, this way you don't talk to a lady, especially your leader. Counselor 2. And what does a human do? Yusaka. He is my guest so he has the right to be here. Issei. Also, I come to help my friend. Counselor 6. You, a filthy human, are going to try to stop us, maybe you're crazy. Issei could hear some light laughter until he heard someone laugh very loudly. Jack. Do you want to impress Princess Kanu who is here? You must be prepared to die if you make such accusations. Issei. I am always ready for anything, especially if it is to protect my loved ones. Jack. I see then I'll kill you right now. Issei. If that's what you want, I'll kill you right here and save myself trouble later. Counselor 3. Enough. Well, if they want to fight, that's fine, the fight will be tomorrow, so they prepare. Jack just raises his hand getting the council's attention. Counselor 5. If something happens young. Jack. I want it to be a battle to the death. Counselor 1. That's fine with me. Without taking it into account since he trusted that he would win. Jack. And you accept or you're afraid. He said it with a smile and mockery. Issei. For my best. See you tomorrow. Turning around and leaving the place with his friends. Before the girls left, Jack was surprised since they were all very pretty and he had a plan after the battle. When they left the building they walked for a few minutes until they reached a patio. Ingvald. Issei, you will be fine tomorrow. Issei. Yeah, don't worry, I'll win so Kanu can be happy. Serafal. From what I saw they are in favor of that guy's victory. Alicia. They don't know what awaits that filth. Issei. Well, let's leave this boring topic and how about we go see the city since the last time I couldn't because I had to go to Asgard. Roswis. I also want to see what it's like. It looks like it's a nice place. Isaka. Okay then Kanu and I will guide you. Issei. Great, let's go. She said it with a big smile and starting to walk. The girls couldn't help but laugh a little as they saw how carefree he was. After a few hours of visiting some places and eating, the day also ended and everyone went to rest. The next morning Yasaka guided Issei to the side of the battle. Kanu. The council spread the rumor of your battle so the stadium will be full. Issei. And everyone will support that guy. Yasaka. He is from a high-class family and well, several nobles may support him but don't worry, you also have your fans. Issei. I see, I'm glad. After a few minutes of walking they arrived at the place and Issei was a little surprised since it was big and full of people. Issei. Wow. Enemu. I wish you luck Issei, we will be supporting you. Giving him a hug and leaving the place. Like the others, they gave him a hug of support, Issei happily accepted them and when he finished he entered the place where a big noise was made. Some called to him and he just gave them a smile and greeted them. Jack. So you're ready to die. Issei. Maybe and you? Jack. Obviously not since I will win this battle. Issei. I understand. Just then the presenter arrived and made the announcement. Well with the girls. Serafal. I forgot something important. Gabriel. And that would be. Serafal. Don't tell the others. Gabriel, you call Griselda and tell her to see it. Enemu you call Aviana. Alicia, you tell the Olympus. Roswis you can tell Graphia. They all nodded and created a magic circle in her ear. Until Serafal since she was going to call Leffe. While she was in the living room reading a book until a magic circle is created. Leffe. Serafal Sama, something has been happening for a while. Serafal. You're not busy Leffe. Leffe. Not right now. I'm resting from a mission I had not long ago. Serafal. I see. Well, I'm going to transmit Issei's fight to you. Hearing that, she was surprised. Leffe. And who she is going to fight with. Serafal. With a noble yakai since he is helping Kanu not to get married. Leffe. I understand. And thanks for telling me I will be supporting you. Serafal just nodded and showed him the fight. That's when the rest of the group arrived. Arthur. Leffe we will leave soon, get ready. Leffe. I won't go. Issei is going to fight someone. Hiroka. Seriously great, I want to. Taking a seat near her. Office. It will be interesting. Leffe. When I get there. A little scared since she was sitting next to her. The other members of the group sat down as they were curious too. Balin Grigori. Laviana. Something bad happens to Penemu. Penemu? I won't show you an Issei fight at all. Laviana. Great. Seeing the hologram and how serious Issei was. Balan Olympus, the three goddesses, upon learning of Issei's fight, were excited and supported him. Like Gabriel and Irina who were on a break from a mission they had. Graphia was next to Surzic, so he would also see the fight. Then Kyoto. Presenter. I wish you both luck. That's when the fight begins and they both run to deliver the first blow. Chapter 52. The first one to hit was Jack, causing him to fly away, since it was a big blow since it was reinforced with his magic. Jack. This was easier than I thought. Seeing where Issei ended up, he was on a wall. But seconds later she emerged from the smoke. Issei. Good blow, but well this won't be so easy. Going to the attack and hitting him in the face also sending him flying as well. When he fell to the ground he wiped his mouth and saw that he had blood on it, which only bothered him more. Jack. This won't stay like this. Putting his hands on the ground and creating a large magic circle where two tigers came out. Enemu. He has some good family members. Isaka. Thanks to them, some of you are afraid of them. While she looked at the council and they had a smile as if saying that it was all over. Jack. This will be your disgusting human end. Issei. Because they always call me that. Jack. Because that's what you are. At that point he sent his tigers to attack. Issei managed to evade a claw attack from them. And another was barely on his back. Well, Jack just laughed at that. Jack. You'll get tired and that's where they'll kill you. Issei didn't say anything and continued to evade until he jumped back and got into a fighting pose. At that point he saw a tiger coming towards him, so he ran and gave it a big kick. And then he went to the other one, killing them very easily. That only left the majority in shock since a part of the public supported Issei, and when they saw how he killed them, they just screamed with excitement. Kuroka. Hahaha, he was just playing with them. Lefei. He wanted to know how confident his rival was. While in the fight, Jack was more upset than ever since they had defeated his family with great ease. Jack. How dare you kill my relatives? Issei. In my defense, I just defended myself. An annoyed Jack pulls out a sword from a magic circle and goes on the attack, putting magic into it to make it kill him faster. Issei didn't have any, he just had to evade without much difficulty since he noticed that he was just brandishing it like crazy. Alicia. I don't know why he carries a sword if he doesn't know how to use it. Roswis. When you are desperate you look for the easiest solution to attack. Enemu. He is someone very impatient. Issei, tired of continuing with that game, stayed still, and Jack thought that he would be tired by now, so it was an attack. But Issei stopped the attack with his hand and destroyed the sword, leaving some people surprised by what Jack did when he saw that he jumped back in surprise. Jack. How did you do that? Issei. Simple, I just destroyed it. Jack. You think you're so damn funny. Creating several magic circles and attacking Issei from a distance. When he saw the attacks coming, he just moved away. Jack. Why don't you fucking die? Issei. What an idiot would let himself be killed. Jack. I'll have to attack more seriously, and after finishing this, all those women who came with you will be mine. Issei only put on a cold look upon hearing that. Well, with the girls. Several let out a sigh. Roswis. It will be worse for him. Alicia. He asked for it. Ingvald. He is a disgusting person. While at the battle site. Jack. Are you afraid? Issei didn't say anything and just started walking. Jack was going to say something, but Issei grabbed him by the face and started hitting him hard against the wall. Many were shocked to see that, and it pained them to see that. When Issei finished, he threw him to the center of the stage and walked to him. Jack stood up and was about to attack, but Issei kicked him, causing him to fall to the ground. At that point he took him by the foot and started shaking him on the ground, and then he hit him on the ground, making Jack spit out some blood. When he finished, Issei threw him at the wall. Office. Wow, it won't go well for you. Lefei. He made him angry. You saved yourself, Volley, from that. Volley just clicked his tongue at the comment. Griselda. Yes, he made Issei angry, that guy. Irina. You know what Issei is like when he hears those words. Griselda just nodded. Surzic. Poor boy, it makes me sad to see him like this. Grafia. He deserves it. Surzic. Grafia, can I ask you a question? Grafia. Go ahead. Surzic. You like Issei. Grafia blushed a little but didn't lose her composure. Grafia. Yes. Surzic. I understand, I wish you luck. Grafia. Thank you. While on Olympus. Eride. He deserves it. When saying such words makes me sick. Aphrodite. Well, you've always been like that with others. Eride. I'm only telling the truth, that's why I hate men. Athena. Sure. Eride. Exactly one person, that person I love. Aphrodite. Well, I'm glad for your sincerity. Eride. Denying it doesn't help me at all. Athena. You're right. He's a great guy. And that they continued watching the fight. Issei walked towards Jack, and when he saw him coming he got a little scared. Jack. Yeah. He didn't finish as Issei grabbed him by the neck and put him close to him and started hitting him on various parts of his body, breaking several bones in the process that even the fans heard and gave them a chill. Just then Jack falls to the ground and Issei just looked at him lying there, but he wasn't done yet. At that point he picked it up and was about to continue, but someone spoke. Counselor 1. Enough is enough, you can't continue. Issei set his gaze on the person who spoke. Issei. As I heard before, this is a battle to the death, so that's the only way it will end. At that he turns around and puts Jack on his feet and starts hitting him at a great speed. When everyone saw how he killed him, they were shocked, especially the people who supported the guy. But after a few seconds, those who supported Issei began to scream with excitement since he showed no compassion. Kuroka. That's what I didn't expect. Imagine if that had happened to you, Volley. Office. I told you from the beginning that he held back against it. Ollie. Shut up now. He left the room upset. Athena. Wow, that was a great ending. Eride. Well, he deserved it, and I'm happy with how I killed him. Not for nothing is he my future husband. Aphrodite. You're even thinking about marrying him now. Eride. And I'm not the only one. Both goddesses said nothing more. Isaka. From what I see, the council won't be very happy. Seraphol. You know they were in favor, so don't worry. Isaka. I know. Besides, I don't think they have the courage to attack him. Enemu? Seeing such a display only an idiot would attack him. Alicia. Yes, and the truth is there are too many idiots in this world. Minutes passed and Issei met up with the girls and everyone went to the castle to celebrate. Hanu? Issei, thank you very much for helping me. Issei. Whenever you want, so don't worry. Hanu approached Issei and gave him a hug which he reciprocated. At that she bit his neck which surprised Issei a little. When they separated he was confused and saw Kanu embarrassed. Issei. What happened? She didn't say anything until the others arrived since they saw Kanu acting strange. Ingvald. Something's wrong. Issei. Well, Kanu bit my neck and well, that's how it went. Showing a golden mark in the shape of a fox. Seeing that, Yusaka was surprised and saw Kanu and she just looked away. Yusaka. Issei, what that mark means is that she wants to marry you in the future. That surprised the entire group and all the girls set their sights on Kanu and she only became more embarrassed but she decided to speak. Kanu? Just being with Issei is the reason. Maybe you don't want to. Making a sad face. Issei. I never said that. I was just surprised, the truth is, if you agree with me, I'm happy with them. Upon hearing that, Kanu looked up from her and gave Issei a big smile and moved her tails in joy, which in Issei's words was cute. Yusaka. Take care of my daughter. Issei. That's how it will be. At that Yusaka gave him a hug and when they were about to separate she also bit him and that surprised Issei again. Yusaka. And me too. Giving Issei a smile. But she reciprocated later. The girls were still in shock but they all said to themselves, we are falling behind. With that, they continued the party with great joy and the girls planned their way of confessing as well. Chapter 53. The group was about to return since they had things to do. Issei. Well, I hope to see you another time. Kunu? Sure. Issei. If something happens, they tell me I will help with whatever I can. Yusaka. Don't worry, you'll always realize in the end. Kanu. Also, we will have our trip soon. Issei. Oh, that's true, she had forgotten. Gabriel. Issei, you really forgot. Issei. Well, I forgot so many things I had to do. Enemu? Well, it doesn't matter. Well, see you later Yusaka and Kunu. After everyone said goodbye they teleported to the underworld. Issei. And why did we come here? Seraphol. We have to give a report for our sudden departure. Issei. Well then what will I do? Roswis. You can learn more about the underworld. Issei. Well, you're right about that, the truth is I've never walked through the city. Enemu? When we're done we'll catch up with you. Issei. Well, what will your Ingvald and Alicia do? Alicia. I'm a little tired, I'm going to go home. Ingvald. I'll prepare to go to the academy so I'll go with her. Issei. Okay, see you at the house. After that everyone went their own way. And Issei for her part began to walk through the city. When doing so, many people asked him for an autograph since he was famous. Issei happily gave it to them. After walking for a while he entered a cafeteria that was a small bookstore at the same time. After ordering from him I take a seat near the window. Issei. It's been a while since I relaxed like this. Taking a sip of his coffee and reading a book that was lying around. He stayed like that for a while until he left the book on his table since he still had a hard time learning the demonic language. He looked around and noticed that the place was somewhat crowded. And he saw two Partons playing chess and Issei liked that game. He got up from his seat and went to the place when both people stopped their game. Issei. I know it's rude but I can play later. It's fine with me, but I don't know if my cousin agrees. Okay, you can take a seat. Issei happily accepted his invitation and they both continued playing. Issei just watched his game analyzing his style and after a scary hour there was a winner. Issei. It was interesting. Are you ready to lose? Issei. We'll see about that. Oh, excuse my manners, my name is Issei, a pleasure. Reaching out. I know who you are. You are a famous person. Letting out a small laugh. My name is Leisha Astareth, a pleasure. Taking Issei's hand. Leisha. And this is my cousin Sikaria Gares. Sikaria. A pleasure. Issei. I say the same. Leisha. Then you are ready for defeat. Issei. Ha 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 ha, of course not. I look stupid but I know how to play. Leisha. I see, then how about we bet something on the winner? Issei. Interesting, and what would you like to bet? Leisha. If I win you will join my peerage. That surprised Issei quite a bit as well as Sikaria. Issei. You played big for a little while I see. Leisha. Of course I try harder that way. Issei. Ha 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 ha, that's fine, I accept. But if I win we will play more often. I like you. Leisha. Are you trying to flirt with me? Issei. Not at all. I can tell that you are not like most noble demons. Leisha. And how do you know that I am a noble? Issei. As I said before, I'm stupid but I know some things. Leisha. I like you Issei. No Sikaria. Sikaria. Not at all. Leisha. Don't take it seriously, that's just who she is. Issei. I see. So are you ready? Leisha just nodded at him with a smile. That's when they both started the game. Started Leisha making a good move, then Issei followed. Zakaria just watched her game and was actually curious about how Issei played. Since she had heard some rumors about him. Although she didn't believe them since it was a lot for just being a human. Meanwhile, the two players stayed like that for 2 hours and no one wanted to give up. But the one who had the most difficult time was Leisha. She was surprised because she thought it would be easier to defeat him. She was analyzing her possibilities, but she didn't have any options. At that moment Issei comes out. Leisha. I give up, I can't continue. Issei just gave her a victorious smile. Issei. It was fun, I told you I wouldn't make it easy for you. Leisha. I can tell. You know you should have asked for something else. Since I asked for something more complicated, you weren't afraid of losing. Issei. I know when I can lose and well I had some confidence haha. Leisha. I see. Issei. Well it's a bit late. I took up a lot of their time. Leisha. This day wasn't interesting at all, wasn't it? Zakaria. It was entertaining. Issei. I see, well, I have to go, the others are still waiting for me. Leisha. Like who? Issei. Serafal, Penemu, Gabriel and Roswis. The two of them were surprised when they heard those names. Zakaria. You get along well with them. Issei. Of course they are important people to me. Leisha. Issei, can I ask you a question? Issei. Go ahead. Leisha. The truth is, it's hard for me to believe everything they say about you since you've done a lot of good things. Issei. I did what was right, the truth is that I never paid attention to what others say. Zakaria. But how did you do it since I don't notice any sacred gear on you or magic? Issei. Just train. Zakaria. I see you must have done it a lot, right? Issei. So I deny it if it's true. I trained for 6 years non-stop. Leisha. And tell me Issei, you don't want to join my nobility. Issei. Thank you for the offer, but I refuse, I'm fine that way. But if one day you need my help, don't hesitate to tell me. Zakaria. You are in the DXD group. Issei. No. Leisha. That's why I've never seen you there. Because you're not there. Issei. I have some companions already. And well, I don't like it when people get hurt. Leisha. I see. I hope one day we have a mission together. Issei. I'll be waiting for that day. Well, see you another time. Getting up from his seat and leaving the place. Leisha. I like him, he's not as conceited as I thought. Zakaria. I could tell. He doesn't get carried away by fame like others. Leisha. I hope one day to see him fight. Well, we're leaving. Zakaria just nodded and they both left the place. Issei was walking toward Serafal's house. When I arrived, most of the girls were there. Gabriel. And how was Issei? Issei. I walked a little and went to have a coffee. There I met some girls and played a little chess. Penemu. I see, I didn't know you could play chess. Issei. When I worked a classmate taught me and well I liked it. Penemu. And who were your opponents? Issei. It was Leisha and Zakaria. Serafal. And how did you get along with them? Issei. Leisha is a very happy person and Zakaria is serious. Serafal. But they are good people. Issei. I know. And well we go. Serafal. Maybe you don't like the underworld. Issei. A little but it's better there. Plus it's a little late and it's already open and I think Ingvild and Alicia are waiting for me. They want to have dinner with me. All the girls present nodded and left the place. When Issei arrived, he and Roswis made dinner. Chapter 54. Issei was in the room with Alicia and Ingvild. Until she remembered something. Issei. Hey Alicia, can you explain to me what the purpose of that group you belong to is? Alice. It is to eliminate all the holders of the Longinus and the firstborn gods. As do the leaders of all the factions. Also before I left I discovered that they are creating artificial demons. Issei. I see, this is a big problem, really. Alicia. A bit for now they are not attacking since there are those from the Cows Brigade in Klepeth. Issei. That other group is strong. Alicia. I really don't know. I only know that their leader is that demon Rizavam. Issei. That guy is powerful since he has many people under him. Alicia. Issei, I won't lie to you, I don't know anything. I have never cared about the lives of others. Issei. It's okay, thanks for the information. Then very difficult times are coming. Alice. That's right. Issei. And how do you feel when you hear all this Ingvild? Ingvild. The truth is I'm a little scared, but I'll fight. Issei. And don't worry, you're not alone. I will protect you no matter what. Ingvild. Thank you but you won't always be by my side so I have to train more. That's why I'm joining the DXD group. I hope you do not get mad. Issei. Because it would make me angry. The only thing I can tell you is good luck. Ingvild. Thank you. Getting up from her spot and giving Issei a hug. Ingvild. I'm glad to meet you. My life is better since I met you so I'm not going to disappoint you. Issei. Just don't try hard. Well, Alice, tell me what you're going to do. Alicia. Well, as I said before, I will be by your side, but I can't leave that girl alone, maybe she will get into trouble, so I have to take care of her. Ingvild. Hey, I'm a little too old to have a babysitter. But the truth is it will be fun to be in the same group. Issei. Good with that said. Alicia, you can take us to the underworld. Serafal told me that I have a mission and well you can start today. Alicia just nodded and with that everyone stood up and teleported to the underworld. When they arrived everyone was gathered in a large room waiting for the leaders. Issei was surprised at how many people there were. Until he saw a familiar person. Issei. Griselda. Hearing that voice, she saw Issei and gave him a smile. Griselda. Issei, I see that you are doing well. Issei. A little. You shouldn't be resting, you recently returned from your mission. Griselda. That can be done later, and there are more and more enemies. Issei. I can tell but it's the first time I've seen so many people. Griselda. They are all the members of the group. Issei. There must be a leader. Griselda. Yes, although the leaders are leaders, there is a leader who directs the main group that is responsible for the most important missions. Issei. I see and who it is. Griselda starts searching until she found him. At that she takes Issei's hand and takes him to him. Griselda. Dulio, you can stop eating a little. Upon hearing that voice he turned around and saw Griselda. Dulio. Something's wrong. Griselda. I want to introduce you to a battle companion, he is Issei. Issei. Nice to meet you. Dulio. I say the same. I have heard a lot about you, I hope to fight with you at some point. Issei. Sure. Dulio. Something big will happen so that everyone is here, don't believe it. Issei. So I can see. I hope it's not something bad. Just then the leaders arrived and everyone remained silent and some were surprised to see the god of Olympus Zeus with company. Issei smiled a little as he recognized the three people who were with him. Sirzich. I know this is sudden, but there are more and more problems with the Cows Brigade. Michael. We know that some of them have just returned from their missions, but if we let that group continue later we won't have a chance. Zeus. Since I will also be helping, many of my soldiers will be supporting, I hope they get along well. Some began to murmur. Instead Issei approached Serafal who was near Sirzich. Issei. Hey Sirzich, can I ask you a favor? Sirzich. If it is in my hands of course. Issei. You see Ingvild and Alicia are going to join this group, but I want you to always put them together, would you do me that favor? Sirzich. Sure. Issei. I appreciate it. Before you start giving instructions can you give me my mission? Sirzich. No problem. Searching through his papers. The others had already calmed down and some looked with surprise as they spoke of being calm. Sirzich. You have to go to Ireland. There is a base where there are many scientists and a lot of security, many of our informants died finding the location. Issei. I understand. How serious is it? Sirzich. I don't really know. But it is dangerous, perhaps it is the most dangerous mission we have. Issei. Then let me go alone. Sirzich. But we already had your group. Issei. Sirzich I already said it, I'll go alone, okay. Sirzich just let out a sigh as he couldn't disagree. The others did not listen since Sirzich had created a barrier for both of them. Sirzich. Good. Issei. Great, you can send me to the human world to go and also a map. Sirzich just nodded and took out the map from a pocket dimension. After giving it to him, he teleported him to the human world, surprising most of them. Serafal. Sirzich who goes to where you sent Issei. Sirzich let out a big sigh as some people were going to get angry at what he would say. Sirzich. Issei went on his mission. Several were surprised to hear that since they didn't know where she was going or how dangerous it would be. And more than that he was alone. Serafal. Wait, don't tell me she left alone. Sirzich. Yes, he insisted, and you know better than me what it is like. Serafal. Yes I know. So what will we do with his two companions? Sirzich. All that remains is to give them a different mission. Serafal just nodded and half an hour passed and they gave the instructions and most of them had left. Serafal. Laviana and Griselda you will have to work together on this mission along with Ingvild and Nyx. Griselda. This is a surprise, really. Serafal. The truth is that you and Laviana were going to go with Issei, but he decided to go alone. It only surprised both blondes. Laviana. Wait. Then he abandoned us. Sirzich. Issei's mission was very dangerous and well he didn't want them to accompany him. Griselda. That stupid guy doing these things again. And where he went. Sirzich. I'm sorry but if I told you, you would go to him. Laviana. Obviously we would go. Serafal. They know what he is like. So please leave it at that. The two in the end had to accept since Issei might get angry if they went. And so they continued until there was no one left. Zeus. I think we should have more allies, this war will be very long and bloody. Auden. I know but you already know how others are, I don't think they want to. Michael. We just have to wait and see what happens. Meanwhile Issei was taking his flight to Ireland. After hours of travel I arrived at his destination. After leaving the airport he quickly took the taxi he saw and pointed to the place he wanted to go. When he arrived he began to walk through the town. It was a small and quiet place, but there was something that Issei didn't like, and that was that the place was very lonely. Even the taxi driver was surprised at first to see the place so lonely. But he was afraid of her, so he left the place quickly. Issei was walking through the streets alone, and besides the fact that it was night, that was even worse. He walked for a while until he came to a hotel that had its lights on. Upon entering he was surprised by what he saw. Issei. But what happened here? Chapter 55. Upon entering the small hotel, Issei saw a lot of blood, and that didn't give him a very good feeling. After seeing that he left the hotel, and out of curiosity, he went to a house. When he tried to open it, he was surprised to see the same thing. Issei. This is not normal since other people have not realized this. Now that I think about it, before arriving at this town I didn't see any cars going the other way. I do not like this. Leaving the house and taking out the map they gave him and starting to walk to the place. Not very happy since he doesn't like what he saw. After a few hours of walking he noticed that it was already late at night, but he didn't care. When he was walking in the distance he heard voices, and as a precaution he walked slower, but they still noticed him, and the renegades when they saw him gave a big smile. Renegade 1. But look, there's still one alive. Renegade 2. I thought you said there were no more left. Issei looked down and saw 4 dead people and was surprised and angry at the same time. Issei. Because I still killed those people. Renegade 1. Well, since you're about to die we'll tell you. The reason is to feed something so that it then destroys everything in its path. Well, with that said, it's time for you to die. At that she dropped the 2 corpses he had and took out her fallen wings and went to attack. Issei stood there without moving. The fallen man thought he would be upset. So he wanted to cut off his head, so he turned around, and when he was about to kill them, Issei hit him in the face, killing him. The fallen man's companion was surprised to see that. Renegade 2. How did you do that? Issei didn't respond and started walking. The demon was a little scared and he didn't know why, but he took a few steps back. But before he took a step further back Issei grabbed him by the neck. Renegade 2. How come you have so much strength? Trying to get out of Issei's grip. But he continued without saying anything as he tightened his grip on him until he snapped his neck, killing him. At that he dropped it and saw the corpses of the humans. Issei. I'm sorry for what happened to you and your families and friends. Having a sad face, but after that he continued on his not very happy path. Upon arriving at the place he saw 3 guards, and they were a little surprised to see a human there. Fallen. Those 2 idiots couldn't do their job properly. You go kill him, I don't feel like getting my hands dirty. The other just nodded and went to the attack. But before he arrived Issei moved faster and hit him in the face, destroying it. When the fallen man saw that, he was a little surprised but called for reinforcement since he thought it wouldn't be easy. In less than a minute they had surrounded Issei, there were hundreds of them. Renegade. It is time for your death. Issei just took out his sword and moved at a super speed that not even the renegades felt his own death. All falling dead. Issei. They're just a bunch of scum bastards. The one who was called was scared because he killed them all very quickly. And he saw how Issei approached with his sword full of blood. Fallen. I have no choice but to take that thing out. Taking a button out of his pocket and pressing it. As he did so, Issei stopped his walk as he heard a roar. And he saw how he had a big smile on his face. But before the fallen man could speak something killed him. Issei, upon seeing the creature that killed him, was a little surprised and at the same time a little disgusted by what he was like. Issei. I won't lie to you, you're ugly. The monster just roared at him and went to attack, trying to kill him with his claws, but Issei managed to deflect the attack in time. When he fell to the ground he saw how lightning formed in his mouth. And Issei managed to deflect the attack again. But before he was going to attack he saw how her eyes looked at him and it just gave him a chill. He tried to attack him, but he saw how one of his eyes shot lightning at him. Issei. This won't be so easy. That thing can't see me from anywhere. When he finished thinking that, he moved away from an attack. At that he puts away his sword and takes out some small knives that were in a small backpack that he had on his waist and threw them at him. The monster, when we all deviated, saw with one of his eyes how Issei was about to attack him. He was going to defend himself, but he couldn't do it in time. Upon receiving the attack in one of his eyes, he let out a loud roar. Issei without wasting time continued attacking, but not without receiving some minor injuries from the monster's claws. After an hour of attacking Issei cut off the monster's head and as he did so it fell to the ground. Issei. I have never fought so much with a sword, maybe I should learn more. But how did they create such an ugly thing? After a few minutes of rest he stood up. Then from a pamphlet they gave him he put a little blood on it and 2 gallons of gasoline came out of that pamphlet. At that point he shot the monster and the small building there and burned everything. When he finished everything he headed back to the town. When he arrived he noticed that it was already dawn and started walking to the airport. Since there were no people in the town he had no choice but to walk. Issei. It will be a long trip. I hope the rest are doing well. Meanwhile, Roswis went with Riaz and his entourage. Roswis was a little surprised at first since the entire group was assigned to the same mission. The only thing they had was to investigate. Roswis. Please don't attract attention. Riaz. You should know that I am the leader of this mission so I give the orders. Roswis. I'm just saying you should know that we just have to investigate. And knowing them you will only do something stupid. Hero. You should talk to them with more respect. Roswis only let out a sigh as soon as she had started the mission and she was already tired. Roswis. I hope this ends quickly. She told him so herself and continued on her path. Meanwhile with Vali's group. They were investigating some things. Lefei. What are we doing here? Vali. Just look for some things. You must know that that old man has been bothering us for a long time. Hiroka. You talk about your grandfather. I think he already knows that you're going to betray him. Vali. Even though he is old he is someone intelligent. So you have to find something to stop it now. You must know that I can't do much. Iku. You say that because of the ability he has. It's a little more annoying for you. Vali. Yes. It is a very annoying ability. Lefei. Maybe Issei if he can defeat him. She said it in a whisper but everyone still listened. Arthur. Lefei stop saying that name. Lefei. I said it out of instinct and I haven't seen it for a while. Arthur. And you won't see it. Lefei. And you think I listen to you? I do what I want. Arthur was going to say something but Vali spoke first. Vali. Silence to both of you. They continued walking. After half an hour they stopped in the middle of a forest. Hiroka. I'm tired of doing this. Iku. She's right. It's boring to do this. Lefei was going to respond but felt some presences that were very close. But before telling the others it was too late and the group ran into him. Vali. Wow, what a surprise. Hero. I'm saying the same thing, maybe he wants me to kill you right here. Vali just laughed upon hearing that. Hiroka. Hello little sister, long time no see. Kaneko. Nasama. Roswis. What are they doing here? Lefei. We're just investigating some things. Iku. Hey, don't tell him. At that moment everyone felt two large presences coming towards them and everyone became alert. After a few seconds two people were approaching them with big smiles. Chapter 56. The group was a little scared but ready to attack. Dryag and Albion were surprised to see those two people since they knew who they were. Greg. Hero, tell your team to get out of here, you won't be a match for them. Hero. But there were only two of them and there are more of us. Greg. Don't be stupid, get out of here with the rest. Albion. Vali, go with your team, those two people are very strong, you won't be able to beat them. Vali. What do you mean? Albion. Just leave. If they don't leave now, then they won't have a chance. Listen to me for the first time. Vali just clicked his tongue, but he was going to listen to him. He was going to call his team, but the stranger spoke first. Wow, but look what we have here. Some demons, some Yakes and a Valkyrie and some humans. You don't find it interesting? A little, but you know what's the most fun, those two are here too. Long time no see. Dreg and Albion. Greg. How are they alive? Rizavam Sama revived us and well we wanted to go out for a walk a little and we got such a surprise. Albion. I see. Well it's time to fight, I haven't fought for some time after that massacre we did recently was nothing. Riaz. So you were the ones who did that? And if that was the case. You have some problems you disgusting demon. Riaz was upset to hear such words, but Roswis grabbed her shoulder. Well it's time for them to die. Lefei. Wait. Can you tell us what they are called? It's fine with me since they are going to die soon. At that he takes a few steps forward while turning into his true form. She surprised most of them upon seeing it and making them a little scared by such aura. My name is Apophis. Well it's my turn now. Giving the group a big smile and taking on his true form scaring the group even more upon seeing him. Feel honored to know my name is Ai Daka. Ali. Albion, who the hell are they? Albion. Well, Ai Daka was an immensely powerful dragon. In fact, he was said to be among the three most powerful evil dragons alongside Krom Kruich and Apophis. Everyone was surprised to know that. Greg. They are also stronger than the Dragon Kings. Hero. You're not kidding. That just means they are on their level. Greg. That's kind of why I told them to get out of here. Apophis. It's too late for you to go. Launching an attack by having the entire party activate an arrow shield would be of no use since the attack was very powerful. Ali. We only have to fight. Just for today we must all work together. Riaz. There is no other option. And Vali activated his armor just like Hero did his. Roswis put on her Valkyrie outfit. Roswis. Lefei, be careful. Lefei. I say the same thing, please protect my back, we have to work together. Roswis. Sure. Hiroka. Kaneko, we have to fight together, this won't be easy. Kaneko? Okay. Everyone got into a battle pose. And the two dragons could only smile since everything will be fun for them. Meanwhile Issei walked down the empty road. Issei. I've been walking for hours and no car has passed by yet. Letting out a sigh at how bored she felt. That's when her cell phone rang. Issei. Hello Serafal, something's wrong. Serafal. I just wanted to know how your mission was going. Issei. It went well. Serafal. Maybe you already finished it. Issei. A few hours ago, but it wasn't very easy. Serafal. Something happened. Issei. Those renegades completely destroyed a town and created a very ugly and disgusting monster. Serafal. Nothing bad happened to you, right? Issei. I'm fine. Right now I'm going to the airport, but it will take me a while since I'm on foot and I haven't seen a car in hours. Serafal. I'm glad you're okay. I wait your return. Issei. Thank you, see you later. Cutting off the call. At that point she saw the wallpaper and put on a half smile, since it was the first photo she took with Lefei when they met again. Issei. I haven't talked to her in a while. Maybe she's not busy right now, I'll talk to her. Looking for her number and dialing her. Someone answered him at that. Issei. Hello Lefei, how are you? I'm not Lefei. Issei. Who's talking? Office. Issei. I see and tell me, is Lefei there? Office. She's on a mission and forgot this. Issei. I see how bad it is. She hadn't looked at her in a while. But hey, tell me how you are. Office. Good. Issei. I'm glad, and what are you doing? Office. Nothing. Issei just let out a sigh as he noticed that Office didn't talk much. Issei. You know you should talk more. Office. Because. Issei. To make it more fun. Office. I don't understand. Issei. It's not easy to talk to you, but I'll force you to talk more. Office. Like. Issei. Why lie to you if I have no idea? I'll just let the words flow. Office. I see. Issei. Office, could you tell me where Lefei and her friends went? Office. Holland, I think. Issei. I understand they are very far away. You know, I have a bad feeling. Office. I see. Issei. Talk a little more, maybe you're not worried about your friends. Office. I don't know. Issei. You should have gone with them. Office. No. Issei. And that would make you happy. Office. Kill Great Red. Issei. More or less I've heard of him. Because he is very strong, and why you want to kill him? Office. Because he is in my house. Issei. Huh. And, where's that? Office. The dimensional gap took me out of there. Issei. I see, but they can't share it. From what I've read, that place is huge. Office. It's not mine. Issei. It's hard to talk to you, you know. Office. I see. Issei. I'm already bored of walking. From here I get home. At that point she noticed that they didn't respond, and she saw her cell phone and noticed that it turned off. Issei. I ran out of charge. It was good to see what had been loaded in a long time. Saving it and continuing on its way. He barely took 2 steps and noticed how something appeared in front of him. When he saw him, he took several steps back and got into an attack pose, but he was surprised to see who was coming out of there. Issei. Office. Office. Yes. Issei. What are you doing here? Office. This stopped working, so I came. Showing him the cell phone. Issei. Oh, I see. Well, I ran out of charge and it turned off. I'm surprised you've come all this way. Better said how you did it. Office. A dimensional gap, I can go wherever I want. Issei. I see, that sounds great. Office. I see. Issei, and you want to do something? Office. Like. Issei. I really have no idea. Plus you have that face without any emotions. Office. It's because I don't have them. Issei. Then you have to have them. Office. Because. Issei. I don't know. Everyone has it. Plus you should change your outfit, that suit reveals a lot. Office. Okay. Issei. Well then, how about you walk with me for a while? Office just nodded and stood next to Issei. At that he started walking and Office was floating. Issei. Hey, I said walk, not float, so come down. Office. No. Issei. Someone can see you. So come down. Office. No. At that Issei takes her shoulder and begins to lower her, but Office resisted, but he couldn't since Issei used a little of his strength. Office was a little surprised, but he didn't show it. Issei. That's better. Starting to walk, she noticed that Office was about to float again, and Issei stood behind them and took her by the shoulders and forced her to walk. Issei. Not much better. Office. No. Issei. It will be fun, so walk. Office did not say anything and let herself be guided. After a few minutes Issei spoke, since she had become very silent. Issei. Now that I remember, you told me that you could go anywhere with that, no? Office. Yes. Issei. Great, could you take me where Lefei is? I haven't seen her for a while, please. They both stopped. Office. Okay. Opening a dimensional gap and entering it. Issei was about to enter, but Office stopped him. She was going to say something, but she saw something forming on her body. Issei. And this is it. Office. So that you don't die inside. Issei. I see, thank you. That's when she entered the place. When she was there she was surprised by what she was like and saw how Office opened another one. Then they left the place and she was surprised by what she saw. Her friend was there and not only her, but also Roswis and her brother with her group. Like Issei, everyone was surprised to see him there and with whom. Issei quickly came out of her shock at seeing her injured friends in a very bad state. At that she approached Roswis. Issei. What happened here, Roswis? Roswis. We were just going to investigate, but those two dragons came out. They are very strong. Spitting out a little blood, Issei got worried when he saw that, and Roswis noticed it. Roswis. I'm fine, just a little tired, I ran out of magic. Issei. Ross-chan rest yes. Giving him a smile, Roswis just nodded. At that Issei laid her down on a tree and watched as Vali and Arthur fought, but things went badly. Issei noticed that most of them were very injured. She saw her sister unconscious on the ground, but she didn't take it too seriously. She watched as Kuroka healed Lefei and Issei approached them without wasting time. Issei. How is it? Kuroka. I use a lot of magic, it's only weak. Issei. I'm glad. Lefei, don't worry. Lefei. Issei, you found me at a bad time. Issei. Rest, I'll take care of this. Lefei just nodded. Issei. Kuroka, do me a favor, yes. Kuroka. Sure. Issei. Gather the rest and stay still, I'll fight them. Kuroka. I know you're strong but they're on a higher level. Issei. Trust me, yes. Kuroka was going to say something, but she saw how Lefei took her hand and nodded at her. Kuroka. Okay. Issei. Thank you. At that Issei stood up. And he went to Office who only watched the battle. Issei. Office, can I ask you a favor? Office. What? Issei. You can stay with them and create a barrier while I fight. Office. Okay. Issei. Thank you. At that she went to the others. Issei walked over to Vali and Arthur, they only had a shield as they defended themselves. Issei. Hey you two. At that they both turned around and were surprised to see Issei. Vali. What are you doing here? Issei. It's not time for questions. You go with the others, I will fight with them. Arthur. You're crazy, you think you can handle them? Issei. I don't know but. You have to protect Lefei, she is hurt. Arthur looked at the group and saw Lefei with some injuries, while Kuroka healed her. Arthur just nodded and left and Vali accepted since he didn't have magic. Issei was left alone in front of the two dragons. Aka. A human will fight with us, hahaha. This is a joke, isn't it? Apophis. You're right. Issei. You know I'm not in the mood for jokes. You hurt my friends, I'll make you pay. Showing off his fists. And starting to walk towards them. Chapter 57. Issei was not very happy to see how they had left her friends. At that she looks up from her having a serious face. She started walking towards the two dragons. After taking 2 steps she began to run, appearing near Ai, hitting him on the head on the right. Completely destroying her head, surprising both dragons when they saw what he wanted. Ai. You're not just words, brat, this will be fun. Regenerating her head. When the group saw that, they were surprised since they didn't know he could do that. Ai. Then this will be fun. Giving Issei a big smile. At that, Ai from the 3 heads of him began to create 3 different spells, one of fire, another with lightning and the last of water. Issei managed to defend himself against both attacks, managing to dodge them. When he dodged them he received a blow from Apophis. Apophis. I'm here too. Seeing how Issei was crashed into a tree. Seconds later he got up from the spot and went to attack Apophis. The dragon, seeing how Issei was going, used one of his abilities, creating primordial water. Seeing how he was coming towards him like black water, Issei managed to deflect the attack, but a drop fell on his shoulder and he noticed how it was burning his shoulder, but Issei didn't care. Apophis. It wasn't bad. You will be able to entertain us. Issei. This is not a game. Going towards Ai, deflecting the attack from him and getting close to his chest, giving him a good blow, making him retreat. Ai was upset because that blow hurt him and he was wondering how a mere human was causing him harm. But partly he was happy because he could have fun. And that he uses one of his special magics which was duplication. By doing so everyone was able to see 100 of them. Issei still had the serious face on him. Ai. Today you are dead. You won't be able to handle so many. Bringing some clones to the attack. Issei started running towards him. And when he was in front the dragon fired many attacks that Issei deflected. At that Issei clenched his fist and hit him in the chest, piercing him and killing the clone. For his part, Daka was a little surprised even though he was a clone, he had high-class demon strength. But he didn't take much notice of it afterwards and sent all the other clones to attack. Apophis? Not bad, right? Daka? Maybe. But now it's over, it won't be able to handle everyone. It was fun while it lasted. Apophis only watched the clones fight. Meanwhile Issei deflected some attacks and then killed a clone. Issei. If I keep going like this I'll never finish. They were Issei's thoughts. At that he let out a sigh. Daka. Maybe you're already tired. Issei. Not at all, I'm just warming up, it's time to be faster. Taking a step forward and doing so on the ground he got a crack from the force he put into that step. At that Issei moved even faster than normal that only the two evil dragons in office could follow him. The three dragons watched as Issei killed the clones even faster, destroying their heads or destroying the chests of some. He stayed like that for 20 minutes until he finished. Both dragons were a little surprised to see how quickly he did it. Issei. Well, it's time to continue, isn't it? Daka. Don't make a big deal of yourself just to get rid of those weak clones. Now you will see something that you will like. And that Daka uses one of his special magics which is illusions. When he finishes he throws Issei next to a barrier so that he can't leave the place or escape. Daka. This is where it all ends. The group some managed to hear what he said. Lefei. What do you mean? Daka. He is in an illusion, the longer he is there, the weaker he will become until he dies. Lefei was scared when she heard that and saw how Issei was with his head down. She was going to say something, but Office stopped her. Lefei. Something's wrong. Office. Trust him. Lefei just nodded and waited for something to happen. While in the illusion, Issei was in her room waking up in her room and he got up suddenly and looked around her. Issei. What was all that? Holding his head. Then she heard her mother's voice calling from the Kokosi. Issei got up from her bed and went downstairs. When she was there she saw her entire family gathered. Asami. Issei, it's late and you're still in your pajamas. Issei didn't know what to say when he saw them all. Hero. What's wrong, you still seem asleep. Pi. Come on son, sit down and have breakfast with us. Issei walked a little and sat down, and seconds later his mother put her breakfast on him. And everyone began to have breakfast. Asami. Today you have a date with that girl named Murayama, don't you, Issei? Upon hearing that he stopped eating. Issei. What do you mean? Asami. Don't play dumb. It's the truth. Issei tried to think, but nothing about his brother brought him out of his thoughts. Hero. Hey, come on, tell us. Maybe we are not a family. You don't trust us. When Issei heard that, he got a little angry, although he wouldn't show it to others, he hated his family. At that he stood up and started walking until Hero did too and took him by the shoulder. Hero. Come on, don't bother, you can count on your older brother. Issei turned around and stepped back and punched her in the face, making everyone shocked to see what he did. Am I? Hey, but what's wrong with you? Issei. You are not my family. Issei started to walk to the exit, but his father stopped him, but then Issei punches him in the face. At that he opened the door and when he was about to leave he spoke. Issei. I stopped having a family for years. Leaving the place. At that Issei opened his eyes with a serious look. The dragons, seeing how he raised his head, were surprised since he quickly came out of the illusion. The Daka was the most affected since with that technique he killed many. Daka. Maybe you didn't like what you saw. Issei. Of course not. Maybe you're stupid making my family nice. They never liked me so it was obvious. Standing in front of the barrier. Daka. Well, whatever. You won't be able to get out of that barrier so easily. At that Issei takes a step back and extends his fist, hitting the barrier. Daka was going to say that he was crazy to do that, but before he did he noticed how his barrier began to crack and seconds later he crumbled into dust. Issei. Let's leave the games now. Moving at great speed and hitting Apophis in the face, sending him flying away from the place. Daka was going to attack, but Issei beat him to it, giving him a big blow to the face, destroying it. But before the regenerated Issei destroyed his other head, leaving only the middle one. Daka. You are dead human. You're forcing me to use more magic than normal. Issei didn't say and went on the attack. Daka created several of his barriers in order to regenerate his heads, but Issei destroyed them all with ease. Daka. What the hell is this human who doesn't die made of? At that, both of his heads were regenerated and Issei had destroyed the last barrier. Daka used one of his abilities which was space-time magic, stopping Issei. I was going to kill him, but I noticed how he was moving slowly, until he took more steps until he came out of the spell. Daka. How did you achieve it? He told her that he was upset. Issei, without paying attention, ran and gave him a big blow to the chest, making him spit out a little blood. Issei. I told you I would kill you for hurting them. Destroying one of his heads. The Idaka spread his wings and took flight, but Issei took a big jump, leaving a small crater there. And when he was in the air with both his legs, he hit Idaka on the back, causing both of them to fall. And destroying some bones of Idaka, making him roar. After he slowly got up and took his human form. Everyone could see that she had several injuries. Idaka, I will fucking kill you. Created a great spell forming a great sphere of power. Roswis. Issei, get out of there, you won't be able to avoid her, that spell has a lot of power. Idaka. It is very late. Throwing the big ball of power. Issei. I won't die now. Not before seeing the girls happy. Forming a fist and giving power. The Idaka was surprised to see that she managed to destroy his best attack since he had most of her power. But before he said anything, Issei was in front of him, giving him a big punch in the stomach, causing him to spit out a lot of blood and fly away. But before she attacked again, Issei was in front of him again. Issei. This ends this. Idaka. How can I be defeated by a filthy human? Issei, ignoring him, hit him several times in the body, destroying everything about him. At that point he walked towards Apophis's place, and when he arrived he did not find him and walked further ahead. Apophis. Because I'm running away if he's just a human, but I recently stopped feeling his aura. While walking in the human form of him. Apophis. I think I'm already far away. I must report this to Rizavam Sama, that human is not normal. He was going to run, but someone spoke to him. Issei. Where are you going? Didn't I tell you that I wouldn't let them get away very easily? Apophis, hearing that voice. He turned around and saw Issei with blood on his chest since he didn't have a shirt. Apophis. How are you still alive? Issei. That's not your problem. It's time for you to pay. Apophis. You must be tired, so consider yourself dead. When I finished saying that, I noticed how his arm was on the ground. He was so surprised that he didn't notice when Issei moved. Before he spoke, Issei inserted the sword into his sword, causing Apophis to spit out blood and fall to the ground. Issei. You won't die from such a thing. Get up. Apophis was still on the ground. Apophis. Why don't you just kill me? Issei. It won't be as easy as you think, you know. You made the women I love suffer. And I'm not going to forgive you for that, so I'm going to make you suffer too. Apophis felt a chill, and for the first time in his life he was afraid. At that, Issei stood up and Apophis could see his gaze empty of him, full of hatred towards him. Apophis. I won't do it again. Issei. I don't really care about that. What matters is what you did today. Standing Apophis, he couldn't even move out of fear. Apophis. You are a monster. Issei. Being told by someone else is strange. Drawing the sword from him and embedded it in his head. After doing so, he stood in front of him and cut off his head. Issei stood there watching the body disintegrate and letting out a sigh for everything that happened. Chapter 58. Issei stood there for a while until there was nothing of Apophis left. Issei. This was a long day. Starting to walk towards the group. Upon arriving, he saw how Lefei was helping Kuroka heal the others while Office just watched. At that point, everyone saw how Issei came out shirtless with a lot of blood. But before Lefei or Roswa spoke, Issei beat them to it. Issei. It's not my blood, in case I ask you, you know. Walking towards the group. Office. You killed them both. Issei. Yes. Everyone who was already awake was surprised to hear that. Plus the two celestial dragons. Albion. Boy, you are. Issei. You should know that. What is your name? Albion. My name is Albion. Issei. Okay, as he said, you should already know that. I am a human. Dreg. That's impossible. Those two dragons were not weak, they had the power of a celestial. Issei. I see. What's your name too? Dreg. My name is Dreg. Maybe you don't care what you just did. Issei. Look, Dreg, I only fought to protect some people who were here. The rest, so I'm lying to you, I wouldn't have minded seeing them die. That surprised everyone, even Office, since he said it without hesitation. Kuroka. And who you fought for? Issei. For Lefei, Roswis, and I like you. Although Lefei's brother doesn't like me, I can't let him die or else she would be sad. Everyone was shocked by what she said. But the girls were blushing because of what she said. Dreg. Wait, and your brother? Issei saw how her brother was still unconscious. Issei. You better than anyone should know how I treat myself, so you know my answer. Dreg better not say anything since he was right. Issei. And before your Albion speaks, you should know that your friend doesn't like me. Albion. Yes, I know. Iku. Hey, but I won't give you anything. Issei. I don't really know you. Iku. You're crazy, we talked a long time ago. Issei. I see, I'm sorry. But hey, I see that you're still unconscious, so we have to wait for them to wake up. Back then. Roswis. Where are you going? Issei. Not far from here, I saw a river and well, I have to clean myself. Roswis. Don't worry, I'll help you with that. Creating a magic circle on Issei's feet and remaining as if nothing had happened with her clothes. Issei. Thank you. Roswis. No problem. Issei. Hey Lefei, they were investigating. And you too Ross-chan. Lefei. Not long ago the hero faction separated from the Chaos Brigade and well for some reason they want Office-sama and we are looking for why. Issei. I see and you're Ross-chan. Rosswas. A base, some of them died when we got there and well, we were only in charge of investigating, but we were so surprised. Issei. I understand. Hey Lefei and you who are not part of that group. Lefei. We were never in that group, it was just appearances, but Rizavum realized it and well now they are looking for us too. Issei. I see you guys aren't having a good time. Lefei. Not really. Issei. I have an idea, but I'm going to wait for the rest of your team to wake up. Lefei, somewhat confused, just nodded. Issei had left the group, leaning against a tree, when Office arrived and sat down next to him. Issei. Something's wrong. Office. How did you do it? Issei. What a thing. Office. As a result of that illusion and how you killed them. Issei. Now you talk more. Besides, you're curious. Office still had her neutral face, and Issei laughed a little. Issei. Well, with the hope he put me in a place where my family loved me and that was strange since well they never loved me. So I hit my brother and my father and that's how I got out. Office. And the other thing. Issei. I just hit them just that. Office. Issei, how strong are you? Issei. I have no idea really. I only fight to defend my loved ones. Office. I see. They both remained silent for Issei closed his eyes and he fell asleep since he had almost 2 days without sleep. After a few hours Kuroka woke him up and Issei noticed that it was already late. Issei. If something happens. Kuroka. Well it's late and tell me you don't want to have dinner. Issei. Sure. At that he was going to get up but he saw how Office had her head in his lap. Issei. How long has she been there? Kuroka. Not long since you fell asleep, the truth is, it's the first time I've seen her sleep. Issei. I see. At that Issei began to wake her up until after a few minutes of attempt she succeeded and they both went with a rest. Someone had created a big table for everyone. Issei sat next to Lefei and Rosswas and Office on Issei's lap, taking everyone by surprise. Issei stopped paying attention to those things. Everyone began to eat in great silence, which was uncomfortable for Issei. Issei. And well now that some of you are awake I have something to say. Lefei. Oh that's true. Issei. Good now that your volley and your group are not with the Cows Brigade because they are not joining us. There was a great silence until someone spoke. Riaz. You're crazy, maybe you don't know that they are wanted. Issei. Tell me Gremory what they did. So I investigated nothing. Volley only left Azazel and Hero beaten. Iku just ran away from home. Iku? Hey. Issei. And the Pendragon brother just wanted to be stronger. And Kuroka well she just defended herself. Kaneko. What do you mean? Issei. It's not my duty to say that. Kuroka. How do you know that? Issei. I may seem stupid but I know how to investigate too. And well what they tell me. Riaz. I'm not in favor and I don't think they'll just leave them like that. Issei. I will talk to the leaders. So there's no problem. Hero. Don't believe it's a big deal. Issei. Well what do they tell me? Oh it's true and what do you think Office? Office. Okay. Lefei. It's fine with me. Arthur. Hey, we haven't discussed it yet. Lefei. Oni-sama you must know that we alone cannot continue fighting you just saw. We couldn't beat them if it weren't for Issei us. At that Issei covered her mouth. Issei. Don't say it okay. Lefei just nodded. Issei. Look, I know some people don't like me and I really don't care. I am used to contempt but there are people I must protect. So decide. Volley's group looked at each other and in the end, Volley let out a sigh he knew that Issei was right. Volley. Fine, but if it's a trap you'll pay me. Iku. A little rest. Kuroka. So I can know more about you Issei. Issei. Well with that said, tomorrow we leave. Riaz. Fine, but it will be my fault if something happens when I come back. Issei just nodded. The night passed and it was a new day. Issei. Well, how are we going? Arthur. I'll take them, it'll be faster. Issei. Great, I appreciate it. Arthur didn't say anything. Lefei. Don't take it seriously, he's the one. Issei. I can tell. Lefei. Now that I remember. Tell me Issei what were you doing with Office-sama? Issei. Well I had just finished a mission and well I was bored so I called you and she answered and we talked a little. I ran out of charge and out of nowhere she came out. Lefei. Ha 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 I can imagine the face you made when you saw it. Issei. I'll just say that I was surprised that it came out of nowhere. And well, I asked him to please take me to where you were and you know the rest. Lefei. Yes. Still thanks for coming. Issei. It's nothing. I'm happy that Office appeared there. Lefei. Same with me. Well now we have a long day ahead of us. Issei. Don't worry Lefei, I'm going to support them. You guys won't be in trouble. Lefay just smiled at him. At that point everyone began to enter the dimensional gap towards the underworld. Chapter 59. The large group was appearing outside the castle. When the guard saw them, they got into an attack position. Issei. Come on, relax, they're coming with me. Guard. If so, go ahead. Issei just nodded and the whole group started walking. Kuroka. Wow, that was fast. Issei. Better not. They walked a little until they reached Surzich's office. Upon knocking, Grafia opened the door for them. Grafia. Issei did when you came back. Issei. I just arrived and well, tell me, is Surzich free? Grafia. Not so far forward. Issei just nodded and the group entered. Surzich saw him and was surprised since he was with his sister and a wanted group. Surzich. I'll just say what happened. Issei. You know it's a long story, call the others. Surzich. Good. So while you wait they can wait in the room. Issei. Good. Leaving the room. Grafia guided them around the place. Issei. You don't get bored doing this. Grafia. You get used to it over time. So I don't get bored. Issei. Great. The truth is, I'm not one of those people who stays still for a long time. Grafia. I know. Tell me it went well for you. Issei. It went well, but I was late. I'll tell you when the others are there. Grafia just nodded and after that the group arrived at the room and Grafia left again. Issei. Well, what will we do while we wait? Kuroka. Tell me about yourself. I hardly know anything. Issei. What do you want to know? Kuroka. Tell me how you managed to survive the attack of the ice giants, listen to a little about your adventure. Issei. Well, the truth is, I just fought non-stop. If I had done it I might have died that day, but I couldn't die because well I promised to come back. Lefay. Office-ama there is a lot of space because she sits there. Office. She is more comfortable. Lefay only had a pout since she wanted to. Iku. Hey, do you think I can be just as strong if I train like you? Issei. Of course if you put your mind to it you can achieve it. Iku. Maybe I'll try it, but it will be difficult. Issei. Nothing is easy in this life. Kiba. Who taught you how to use the sword? She was curious to know. Issei. I learned by watching some books and also some movies. Most of them broke a sweat knowing how they learned. Issei. Also I rarely use it since well I'm better with my fists. They talked a little more after a while Grafia returned and led the entire group to a large room upon entering. Issei was hugged by 3 people, which were Serafal, Yusaka and Kunu. Enemu and Gabriel managed to resist going too. Issei. How are you doing? Yusaka. Just work. Issei just gave them a smile and after that he sat down and joined the others. The leaders looked at Vali's group plus Azazel since she was his student. Zeus. Well boy, what happened? Issei. First I will say my mission. Well, he went to the place they told me and when he arrived at the small town I noticed how alone he was and that was really strange. So he went to the hotel when he was resting and I saw a lot of blood and then I went to a house and it was the same. Most were surprised to see what happened. Issei. I went to investigate more in the forest and I found 2 who were carrying 4 corpses. After killing them I continued on my way and fought a group and then fought something that was a wolf but ugly. Taking out her cell phone and showing the photo to Serafal who was next to her and then to the rest. Most were disgusted to see such a thing. Issei. That thing gave me a fight. And well, after killing her I left the place. Azazel. But tell me how you ended up with the other group, they were in 2 very different places. Issei. Well, thanks to Office I got to them. At that she told the story of how they met. The Office remained the same as always with a neutral face, she didn't care what was happening. Issei. Well when I arrived at the place I saw most of them wounded and I had to fight 2 dragons with them. Michael. What were their names? Issei. No idea. Lefay. Their names were Apophis and Ai Daka. Those present when hearing those names were surprised since they knew how strong they were. Azazel. But those 2 evil dragons died a long time ago. Issei. That guy called Rizavim is reviving them so I don't know, I honestly didn't have the opportunity to ask. Auden. How could you fight alone against the 2 of them? Issei. I just got carried away by the situation, it was not very easy since they were strong and one of them had the power to regenerate the lost parts of him. Zeus. You didn't have it very easy. But good job. Now I will ask a question that many have asked themselves here. Issei. They no longer belong to the Cows Brigade, rather they were never there. Furthermore, both groups helped each other to be alive. Surzich. Issei you must know that they are wanted criminals. Issei. We all know here that they haven't done anything bad, just some messes, but that's all. Surzich. And about Kuroka. Issei. You know very well how noble he was, so he deserved it. Serafal. Surzich. Issei is right in what he says. Furthermore, we need a lot of help, the situation is getting worse and worse, and you know it. Issei. Also, even if you want to do something, you can't first have to go through me. Surzich. That's more complicated you know. But what do others say? Auden. That's fine with me. Zeus. I have no problem and we need help. Michael. I trust Issei so he's fine. Azazel. I have no problems, but someone has to talk to you Vali and you know it. Vali just nodded, she already knew who he was talking about. Isaka. No problem on my part. Serafal. I support Issei. Issei. I thank you all. Surzich. Well, while we sort things out, you are going to stay at the Haidu mansion. They are in favor. They just nodded. Issei. Good. Eyes, I wish you luck in your new home. Lefei. Wait, what you mean by that? Maybe you don't live there. Issei. No. They kicked me out a long time ago so I can't go there. Lefei. And where do you live? Issei. Not far from there. I live with Ingvold and Alicia and later with Roswis, she is just moving in. Lefei. I can go with you. Issei. You should ask your brother's permission, he doesn't have a good face. Lefei. It doesn't matter. Office. I'll go with you too. Kuroka. Me too. Issei. You can wait a little, the problem is that I only have 3 rooms. If you go with me, you wouldn't have a place to stay, so wait. Lefei. There is no problem with magic, we can fix it. Issei. Okay, let's go. Roswis, we are going home. She just nodded. Issei. See you later. Leaving the place with the group. Leaving the rest in great silence. Serafal. Well, since that's said, let's finish this. Surzich. Riaz, take your guests to the mansion and don't cause trouble. She just nodded and the group left for the human world as well. Issei arrived with the group and showed them the house. After that Lefei and Office pleased the house surprising Issei. Issei. Magic is great. Lefei. Yes it is. The bad thing is that you can't use it. Issei. I don't care about the truth. I can defend myself and I can also protect you now. Lefei just gave him a smile. After that they went to eat something and spent the day exploring the city a little. Chapter 60. It was a new day and Issei had gotten up early as usual and she was in the garden doing a little exercise. Meanwhile, the girls, the first to get up was Lefei, she left her room and when she did, the next door also opened, leaving Kuroka. Lefei. Good morning Kuroka-sama. Kuroka. Good morning Lefei. You woke up early today. Lefei. I was feeling tired and well yesterday I fell asleep early and you. Kuroka. Well now that we are not criminals I want to explore more. After that short talk they both went down to the living room and saw Roswis in the kitchen and they both greeted her. Roswis. Good morning, you can wait a little bit, breakfast will be available shortly. Lefei. I can help you, yes. Roswis. Thank you very much, but it won't be long now, you can take a seat. They both just nodded and after a few minutes the food was on the table. Kuroka. It's very good. Roswis. I'm glad to hear it. And where is Office-sama? Lefei. The truth is I don't know since she doesn't sleep so she doesn't know what she does at night. Roswis. I see. Kuroka. And Issei, where is she? She's still asleep. Roswis. He's in the yard training, he got up early. Lefei. Always train. Roswis. Occasionally only when he has time. You must know that he is always very busy. Lefei. I know. And I admire everything he does. Roswis. Me too. And how do you think your colleagues are doing? Kuroka. So I'm lying to you, the truth may be that things will go badly for them. Plus those 2 dragons. Lefei. I just hope they don't cause problems. Kuroka. Who wants to go see Issei train? Both girls raised their hands. After eating breakfast they quickly left the dining room towards the patio. When they arrived they saw Issei training some new fighting style. But the 3 of them were blushing when they saw him without walking. Kuroka. It looks very good. The other 2 just nodded in confirmation. After a few minutes Issei stopped training and the 3 approached him. But when they were in front of him they were surprised to see that she had some scars. Issei. Hello girls, good morning. The 3 of them greeted him. And someone was going to ask, but Office arrived with a towel. Lefei. Office-sama was here. Issei. She's been with me since early. Lefei. I see. Issei, can I ask you a question? Issei. Go ahead. Lefei. How did you get so many scars, plus that one on your chest? Issei. It was a long time ago. When I fought my first renegade demon. Roswis. I thought they had removed all the scars in Asgard. Issei. Only those from that war, not the others. Maybe Serafal asked them not to do it since they are memories of my hard-working days. Kuroka. They still look good on you. Issei. I appreciate it. And tell me what you are going to do today. Lefei. Maybe go for a walk. I don't know the truth and you. Issei. I'll go to Asgard. Roswis. When you planned it. Issei. Yesterday Auden spoke to me so I'll go there. Kuroka. Where are you going? Issei. Auden told me that Thor wants to fight me. So I have to go. Kuroka. Sounds great, I can go with you. Issei. I have no problem and you. The others nodded. Issei. Good. We will leave in a few minutes and well Roswis can take us. Roswis? Sure. Issei? Great. I'll take a bath and eat something and we'll go. Leaving the place. Hiroka. Who do you think wins? Office. Issei. Hiroka. How are you sure? Office. He fought alone with 2 celestial level evil dragons. Lefei. I'm just going to support him. Roswis. I say the same thing now that I think about it. If Folly is forgiven he would also have the set of pieces from him. And you would be with him. Lefei. No, I'm fine like that. Hiroka. I'll see him right away. Hey, tell me why they don't believe Issei's game. Roswis. The leaders wanted to do it, but he refused since he doesn't like those things. Lefei. Yes. But hey, let's make him breakfast. At that the 4 of them went to the kitchen. After half an hour everyone was ready to go. Roswis teleported them out of the castle. The Dens, upon seeing Issei, just nodded and let him enter. Hiroka. How easy we entered. Lefei. You must remember Issei's fame here. Hiroka. It's true, he had forgotten. Even so, it's great, they respect you a lot, Issei. Issei. They are good people. After a few minutes of walking they arrived at the throne room. Auden. I see you brought company. Issei. Well they were curious to see how I was doing. Auden. And you're ready. My son has been excited since you accepted. Issei. That a god waits for me so long honestly honors me. Auden. You already have the rank of god here. In addition, some care is creating a statue of you. That surprised everyone. Issei. You're not crazy about them, right? Auden. They don't want it that way at all. They will do it along with the others. Issei. I see. I hope to see you in due course. Auden just nodded and the group began walking towards the exit towards a training place. When Issei arrived he noticed several people. Issei. We will have an audience. Auden. Just some gods and heroes who wish to see your battle. Issei. I understand. That's when Thor arrived with company. Thor. It's a pleasure to finally meet you Issei. Issei. I say the same. You look great. Thor just laughed at that comment. Thor. I say the same boy, I hope for a good battle. Issei. I'm not going to disappoint you. Thor. Of course not. Oh that's right, let me introduce you to my daughter, she is Astrid. Astrid. It's a pleasure to finally meet you Issei-sama. Issei. Nice to meet you but just tell me Issei doesn't like formalities. Astrid. It's okay Issei. Can I ask you a favor? Issei. Yes, she is in my hands. Astrid. We can take a photo. She said it somewhat embarrassed. Issei. Sure. When she heard that, she was happy for her and asked her father to take it. When she finished she left the happy place. Thor. She admires you boy. Ever since she saw your fight with the giant she has admired you. Issei. Well I hope I don't disappoint her today. Thor. Hahaha she still won't marry you. Issei. What's with that comment? Thor. I'm just saying. Auden. Good now that you're done talking. You have to see how strong they have become. Both are going to break down one of the best materials for making weapons. They both just nodded and went to where 2 guys were holding them. Thor. I wish you luck. Issei. I say the same. At that Thor with his hand destroyed his own in heavy. Issei approached hers and when she was about to destroy it, she stopped and only used one finger, causing the material to turn into dust and the person who had it to fly away. The audience's eyes widened until Thor saw that. Everyone could hear how Auden laughed when he saw how he destroyed him. Auden. I honestly didn't expect that. Thor. Why lie to you? I say the same thing. This fight will be interesting. Issei. I told you I wasn't going to disappoint you. Thor. And I notice that you are sincere when you speak. Well in the stands. Lefei. Great. He made it very easy. Hiroka. Yes I thought it would cost him like the god Thor. Roswis. They're about to start. They both got into an attack position. Issei with his fists and Thor with his hammer. Chapter 61. Auden was in front of both of them and seconds later the match began. At that moment Issei moved at great speed and was about to hit Thor in the face, but he defended himself with his hammer. Thor. It wasn't bad. Trying to hit Issei but he managed to defend himself in time. Issei. Not for nothing are you one of the most powerful in the world. Thor. You're not far behind. Soon you will enter the top 10. Issei just gave her a smile and went on the attack. Hiroka. He doesn't have it very easy. Since he manages to defend himself with his hammer. Astrid. My dad likes to use it in all his battles. Lefei. I could hear that you admire Issei because. Astrid. He was going to give his life to help our army escape. Not many people do that. Lefei. I understand you. They both continued watching the battle. Everyone watched as Thor raised his hammer as lightning began to fall, but Issei managed to dodge some of them since they were very fast. But there was one that scared the girls a little. Issei. That hurt. Thor. I told you it wasn't going to be easy. He was about to attack again, but Issei beat him to it, hitting him in the stomach, sending him flying. Thor was surprised as he didn't see when he moved. Issei. Well, I won't make it easy for you either. Issei noticed how Thor's hammer left it there. And he tried to lift him up. Several whispered as if to say that he wasn't going to make it, but to everyone's surprise, he picked it up as if nothing had happened, making everyone's eyes widen. Astrid. It didn't cost him anything. Roswis. Over time you get used to his surprises. Thor came out of the rubble and was also surprised as he picked him up without difficulty. Issei. It's interesting, but you know we're going to fight with fists. Throwing the hammer aside. And then he started running towards Thor. When he arrived, he was going to hit him in the face, but he managed to defend himself. Thor. That's fine with me. Kicking Issei in the ribs. At that they both separated and Issei jumped up wanting to kick him, but Thor crouched down, but Issei used his other leg to kick him causing him to fall to the ground. Everyone was surprised when they saw what he did. Hiroka. Great. Astrid. I won't deny it and it was amazing. Roswis. Issei knows many fighting styles. So it's hard to predict where he's going to attack from. Office just watched everything, but he had a slight smile since he liked how the fight was going. Thor. I didn't expect that but good blow. Issei. Thank you. At that point he got up from the ground and they both started hitting each other. Thor was about to punch him in the face, but Issei ducked and punched him in the ribs and then in the face. After that Thor started running towards Issei. But he kicked him in the stomach making him retreat. Lefei. This is great, it's good that I'm recording it. Astrid. Me too. Roswis. You shouldn't support Thor-sama. Astrid. He knows I support him, but this is amazing I don't always see someone fight with my dad. While in the fight, Thor recovered quickly and got up from the ground, hitting him in the stomach and then knocking him to the ground. Issei put on a half smile and quickly got up, giving her a flying kick in the face. Making Thor fall to the ground again. At that Thor let out a light laugh and got up from the ground. Thor. It wasn't bad. I give up I lost count of the times he fell to the ground. Issei just laughed at what he said and walked up to Thor and shook his hand. Issei. It was entertaining, thanks to you I was able to practice a new style. Thor. Hahaha I hope we can fight another time. Only this time you will be the one who falls to the ground. Issei. We will see that in his time. That's when the others arrived. Odin. It wasn't bad. What did you think of Thor? Thor. Those were good hits. With every blow he hit me I felt like I was breaking a bone. Issei. Don't complain, you threw lightning at me, that hurt, you know. Thor. I'm worse than you so don't stay. Astrid. It was an amazing fight. You did great Issei. Issei. Thanks for the compliment. Astrid. I wish I was as strong as you. Issei. The only thing I can tell you is to train. Astrid. That's how it will be. Office. I knew you would win. Hiroka. It's a good thing I never fight you otherwise. I would never have touched you. Lefei. Issei, perhaps you are immune to magic since attacks do not affect you. Issei. I'm not immune, I just resist the pain. But well, now what do we do? Odin. Let's have lunch, it's a little late. Issei. Great, let's go. Starting to walk. When everyone arrived they sat down at a large table. Thor. Hey Issei, can I ask you a favor? Issei. Sure. Thor. My daughter wants to go to the human world and get to know it better. And she wanted to know if you could take care of her. Issei. That's why you wanted to fight me. Thor. Partly yes. I wanted to know how strong you are so you can take care of her. Issei. I see. I have no problem with what you, Astrid, tell me. Astrid. I agree, I always wanted to know more about the human world. Issei. I'm glad to know, but you must know that I hardly have time. Astrid. Because. Odin. Issei does missions often that's the reason. Issei. But Ross-chan or someone else can show you around the city if he doesn't bother you. Astrid. And I can go on missions with you. Issei. Well, I don't know what your father and grandfather will say. Odin. Maybe most of Issei's missions are very dangerous. Astrid. I know I'm not at Issei's level, but I can defend myself. Odin. We'll see. Issei. Well, you heard it and don't worry, if you go with me I will protect you just like my other companions. Lefei. Issei we can go see my brother then I want to see that he doesn't cause problems. Issei. Sure. Hey Odin, how are things? Odin. As always there isn't much rest for most. But some have calmed down since perhaps it is due to the death of those two evil dragons. Issei. I see. Astrid. Issei, how seriously did you fight with my father? Everyone paid attention to Issei. For his part, Issei only gave them a smile and did not answer them. Astrid. Tell me please. Issei continued with his smile. Odin could only laugh upon seeing that. He knew that Issei only fought seriously only when someone he knew was in danger. After eating, Astrid went to the room to pack, and after half an hour she was already saying goodbye to her mother and father and grandfather. Thor bowed to Issei to take care of her, and Issei promised to do so. After saying goodbye, the group returned to the human world. Upon arrival, they headed towards the Haidu mansion. Upon arrival, Issei was surprised at how big he was. Kuroka. Your face means you've never seen her. Issei. It's not very big at all. They walked to the entrance and knocked on the door. The servant opened the door for them. Maid. They need something, young people. Issei. Arthur Pendragon is found. Maid. If he is in the room. Issei. He can take us to him since his sister wants to talk to him. The maid just nodded and guided them. When he arrived at the room, he was there with his companions and others. Arthur. Lefei, something's wrong. Lefei. Nothing, I just wanted to come and see that you haven't caused any problems. Arthur. I'm not a child, you know. Just then someone else entered the room. Irina. Issei, what are you doing here? Issei. Just accompany someone. I didn't know you lived here. Irina. I stay here from time to time. And who is she? Astrid. Nice to meet you, my name is Astrid, I hope we get along well. Irina. My name is Irina and of course I hope we will be friends. Issei. It's been since you returned from your mission. Irina. It hasn't been long and what have you done? Issei. Well, Thor wanted to fight me and well, I went to Asgard. Everyone heard his words and some were surprised. Iku. Not kidding. Lefei. Of course not. It was a great battle, right girls? They all nodded. Irina. I would have liked to see it. Astrid. Don't worry, I'll show you. Making a hologram. At that moment the two entourages were arriving and someone was going to speak, but they saw how Issei started to fight Thor. Everyone was surprised by his fighting style. Irina. Issei, that was great. Issei. Thank you, I try to improve as much as I can. Iku. Vali, you stay further away every time, hahaha. Vali just clicked his tongue and said nothing. While Hero was upset since he saw how Issei fought against a god. Hero. Hey, you useless, I challenge you to a battle. Everyone stared at him, some girls said to themselves, maybe you're crazy. Issei. Sorry, I don't have time for that. I have things to do. Hero. You're going to run away. Issei. Not at all, I just said that I don't have time for that, there are better things to do, and you know it too. Hero. Are you afraid that this time a celestial dragon will beat you up? Office. You don't have that title. Greg has it, so don't call yourself a celestial. She said it with her neutral face. Hero was upset, but he couldn't answer him because he wasn't stupid enough to do so. Issei. Well, I'm leaving, I have something to do. Astrid, we are leaving. She just nodded. Issei. And what will you do? Lefei. We're leaving too. See you later, Oni-sama. At that office opened a dimensional rift and everyone was about to enter until Hero spoke. Hero. Because you don't stay with me, I'm better than that useless guy. Astrid. I'm better off with Issei. Hero. I'm a better man than him. I'll take care of you. Giving him a smile. Astrid got a little nervous seeing that and Issei noticed. And she took a few steps towards Hero. Issei. Hey, don't bother her, you already heard her answer. Hero. She knows how to talk too. Issei. Well, if you want to fight, that's how it is. See you tomorrow, you decide the place. Hero. I see your fear is gone. It will be fine tomorrow night. At the academy there we will go to a place. Issei. Fine, but if I win they will never bother me or my teammates again. Hero. Fine, but if I win. He placed a hand on his chin and closed his eyes. When she opened it she had a big smile. Hero. You let your arm be cut off. Issei still had his serious look on his face. When everyone heard that, the girls were even more surprised. One of them was going to speak, but Issei beat him to it. Issei. Well, see you tomorrow. Turning around and entering the dimensional gap and seconds later the girls followed him. Chapter 62. The group was appearing at the house, someone was going to speak, but they saw a magic circle and two people came out. Issei. What a surprise. How did it go? Ingvald. Very good, thank you, nothing bad happened thanks to Alicia. Issei. I'm glad to hear that. Alicia. I see that we have new roommates since the house is bigger. Issei. Well, they are Lefei, Kuroka and Office, and also Astrid. The girls nodded as did the other two. Astrid. Nice to meet you, but before that. Issei, why did you do that? Ingvald. What's going on here? Roswis just sighed and explained the situation. When both girls heard that, they were surprised. Alicia. You keep doing stupid things. Issei. I wasn't going to let them talk to her like that, plus I promised to take care of her. Astrid. It's all my fault. Head down. At that Issei caressed her head and when she looked up she saw how Issei had a smile. Issei. Don't worry about those things. Besides, he's always been like that. Alicia. Issei, you must beat him up. I don't want you to hold back. Kuroka. Last time you did. Issei. If I don't I could kill him. Alicia. I know but at least you could leave him very hurt. You're very soft Issei. Lefei. She's right Issei. You should be more serious with him. Roswis. He's always bothered you and you've never done anything so you have to face him this time. Issei. I'll see what happens. Seconds later everyone could see several magic circles. And several girls came out of them. Issei. Something's wrong. Serafal. Don't ask us such a question. Griselda. We already know what you'll do. Issei. First of all, how did you find out? Gabriel. Irina informed us and well we told the rest. Issei. Wow that was fast. Hanu. Issei, not long ago you fought with two very strong beings, I don't think you can. Issei. Don't worry, he hasn't fought Thor much, haha. Several were surprised to hear that. Graphia. Be careful is the only thing I can tell you. Aphrodite. We will also be supporting you. Issei. That so many people know. Enemu. For now only the higher ups. And only they don't want a fuss to be made. Issei. That's better. Eride. Issei, I have had this sword for a while and I have been preparing it for you, I hope it helps you. Giving him the sword. Issei. Thank you, I'll take care of her. Eride. And don't worry, it's very resistant. Issei. Thank you. First of all, tell me, will you stay for dinner? They all nodded and most went to the kitchen and others to the living room. Kuroka. Volley once said that you bothered him a lot. Laviana. It was fun to do it and how it is now. Kuroka. As always it never changes. Alicia. Even you are here. Athena. We have to support Issei. Alicia. And you don't deny it. Athena just gave him a smile. Just then Issei leaves the kitchen. Issei. Hey girls, what are you doing after dinner? Isaka. I'll stay with Kunu so I can watch the fight tomorrow. They all said the same thing. Issei. I don't have that many rooms you know. Enemu. Don't worry, we can also have a sleepover. Serafal. That sounds fun but. Issei. But what? Serafal. It will be girls only so you are going to go to your room. Issei. It's fine for me and I'm a little tired today. After dinner Issei went to his room to rest and the girls removed the sofas and furniture and they all had clothes to sleep in. Irina. Thanks for calling me. I haven't had a sleepover in years. Griselda. The more the better. Kuroka. Well, what are we going to talk about? Most were thinking about it until one person spoke up. Office. From Issei. Enemu. It was to be seen. Well, a question for everyone. Who loves Issei if he is like that raise your hand. At that all the girls did it, some with great sadness. Enemu. Wow this is quite a surprise. Serafal. Well, I expected it from some but not from others. Aphrodite. Denying it is useless and I am very attracted to it. Roswis. You too Graphia. Graphia. It has unique qualities. Kuroka. Wow, that's a lot for just one. Isaka. Well Kunu and I are now his official couples. Serafal. They cheated though. Lefei. What did they do? Gabriel. They put a mark on it. Kuroka. So that was it. I will do it too. Lefei. Besides, you too, Office Ama. Office. It's interesting. Alicia. Wow, there are many things. Also even your Astrid. Astrid. Well, I've always liked it. She said it with some shame. Laviana. Is it me or many races fall in love with the same person? Since there are angels, fallen angels, demons, magicians, yakes, goddesses, a dragon, a Asgardian and a reincarnated one. Enemu. Wow, I hadn't thought of it like that, plus we like a human. Gabriel. Not just any human. Issei is the strongest and kindest human in the world. Griselda. And we will always be with him. They all nodded with a smile. Ingvald. We only have to figure out how to confess. Well, exactly two people. Serafal. Everything in its time. In addition, we must also find a way to extend Issei's life. We have a lot to do together. Astrid. You're right. There are things I must show you in Asgard right Roswis. Roswis just nodded. After a few minutes of talking, they discussed how to do it until they fell asleep. The next morning everyone was having breakfast and after that Issei got up from her seat. Issei. Well, see you at night girls. Kunu. Where are you going? Issei. I'll train a little. Griselda. Good luck and see you at the academy. Issei just nodded and left the place. Athena. What is he going to surprise us with this time? Nobody said anything since they have no answer to that question. The day passed calmly, the girls stayed in the house, some cleaning and others talking. Until the time came and everyone teleported to the academy where the leaders were. And the two entourages, after 10 minutes, Issei arrived. Auden. Well since we are all here I will take you to the place of the battle. Teleported everyone present to a forest with mountains. Azazel. You have 10 minutes to warm up. They both just nodded and Issei began to stretch his arms. Hero. I hope he's ready this time he won't suffer. Bekeno. Good luck. Meanwhile Issei started punching the air, raising some dust. Seconds later a blizzard until he gave a big blow, destroying a mountain. When those present saw this, some were surprised and others were excited by what they saw. Alright. That would have been a fatal blow if it hit someone. Roswis. This just means that Issei will be serious. Gabriel. I hope not. When he gets serious it's a little scary. After 10 minutes they were both ready. Until they gave the announcement to attack. The first was Issei wanting to punch him in the face, but Hero activated his tower form. And he put both his arms on his face. But Issei still cracked the armor and sent him flying. Upon getting up, Hero changed into knight form and went to Issei, where he just kicked him in the ribs. Issei. You are very slow. Upon hearing that, Hero got upset and went to attack, but Issei without much difficulty deflected the attacks from him. And after so much evasion he hit him in the abdomen that sent him flying. When he got up from the ground he looked for Issei, but didn't find it until he felt a chill run down his back. When he turned around he felt great fear. But he couldn't do anything as Issei hit him in the face, destroying his helmet. Ingvald. He hasn't even touched it. Roswis. I told you he was serious. Lefei. That's how I fight against those dragons. It didn't give them much of a chance to escape. Office. It's shameful for a dragon to escape. Aviana. But who wouldn't escape when fighting with Issei? Meanwhile in the fight, Hero got up and wanted to attack Issei, but Issei wanted to kick him, but Hero grabbed his leg, but before he could do anything, Issei pulled away from him and took a step back. Hero wanted to hit him, but Issei easily deflected the attacks. And after doing so Issei attacked him with a blow to the face and then a kick. Aphrodite. That was great. Griselda. And he hasn't used his sword yet. Who knew? I hope he doesn't do it because it could kill him. While in the fight, Hero. What's happening Drake because I can't do anything to him. Drake. Maybe he's not wasting his time like you. Hero. Which side are you on Drake? Drake. None. Hero got up from the ground and went to attack, but Issei took his hand as if it were nothing. Issei. You know I hate fighting. I don't know what you have against me since you have everything. Hero was upset when he heard that. Hero. Maybe you're crazy. Thanks to you, I can't go out with these girls, you took them away from me. Issei. They are not mine and they are not objects. Approaching Hero and hitting him in the stomach, sending him flying. As Issei fell to the ground, he approached his brother. Hero was going to say something, but Issei grabbed his foot and started hitting him hard on the ground, causing the armor to be destroyed every time. Riaz. Onisama stop this. Surzich. One of the two must surrender, so they decided. Riaz. But. Surzich. But nothing, Riaz, he wanted it so to put up with it. Riaz just clenched her fists just like her group. Issei had already stopped hitting Hero and he was just standing. Issei. You were born with power. And with nothing I had to suffer to get to where I am. There were days when I didn't eat because I didn't have to eat due to lack of money, but you know, I still didn't give up and went inside. Approaching his brother and putting her hand on his chest and hitting his chest, making Hero spit out blood. Hero. I always hated you just like my parents and my sister. Issei. For years now I have stopped caring about that. Giving him a kick that sent him flying away. Hero got up from the ground and went to attack, but Issei grabbed his arm and threw him to the ground, taking his hand and breaking it. Hero could only let out a great scream of pain. The spectators could only hear how his hand broke, and that gave them a chill. Issei lifts him off the ground and crosses Hero's hands, breaking his arms more. Hiroka. That must have hurt. Alicia. It's a good thing Issei didn't hold back too much. Griselda. Anything at all is not the time to have deaths. Hero was on the ground in great pain and increasingly upset by what was happening with the force he had trying to hit Issei with his arms hurting him. But Issei without much difficulty deflected the attacks and then punched him in the face, making Hero fall to the ground again. Issei. Hey, they bring Tears of the Phoenix, right? Surzich. Yes. Issei. Good. At that Issei lifts him off the ground and begins to hit Hero several times, causing him to spit blood with each blow. Issei was still with a serious face, giving him several blows when he finished, he gave him one that sent him flying. Issei moved at great speed appearing behind him. As he did so, Issei stretched out his arm and pierced Hero's lung. Hero could only spit out a lot of blood and fall to the ground. Everyone was shocked by what he did. After that Riaz quickly came out and gave the Phoenix Tear to Hero. And he began to heal slowly. If he had taken longer he would have died. Issei didn't care and started walking, but Riaz stopped him. Riaz. You damn. Trying to hit Issei in the face, but he stopped him with his hand and breaking his hand. Riaz just let out a scream of pain and fell to the ground holding her hand. Issei. Don't try to hit me again. Leaving the place being close to Surzich. Issei. I'm sorry about that. Surzich. She's fine and she's very impulsive. Issei just nodded and left with the girls. Issei. We're leaving. Giving a smile to the girls they just nodded and left the place. Chapter 63. When Issei arrived at the house with the group, he turned around and looked at them all. Issei. They're hungry, I'm going to prepare something for them. Serafal. Aren't you tired? Issei. Not really. I feel like this time I don't struggle as much as the last time. Isaka. But you didn't even give him that much time for that. Issei. Well, that doesn't matter anymore. What matters now is that he is no longer going to bother any of you. Giving them all a big smile, causing them to blush. Athena. Issei, you sit back and relax, we'll make dinner. Issei. Okay. I'll order them for you, but they will all go to the kitchen. They all nodded and went to the kitchen, leaving Issei in the living room alone. Without much to do, Issei sat down and looked for something to watch on television. Issei. Well, I haven't seen something in a while. Let's see what's good. While in the kitchen. Aphrodite. Well, we'll make dinner. Ingvald. It can be anything, plus Issei likes to try new things. How about something from her country? Eride. Well, I don't have many recipes. So you decide and I will help you. Athena. Me neither. Serafal. Well, this won't be so easy. Braphia, you have an idea. Braphia. Maybe some meat to give him more strength. They all nodded since they had no more ideas. After an hour of cooking, Issei was called to the dining room, and when he arrived he was surprised to see a large feast. Issei. You don't think it's much. Astrid. I hope you like it. Issei. Since you guys did it, I'll eat as much as I can. Alice. Relax. Issei just nodded and took a seat like the rest, and they started to eat dinner. Issei. Now that I think about it, when will that camping trip be? Enemu. Since we don't have much to do these days, it could be tomorrow. Well, if the others are in favor. Lefei. It's fine with me. Braphia. I have a few days off so it's okay. Aphrodite. We just have to let them know and we can go. The others accepted without much problem. Issei. Great, I'm already excited. Gabriel. We can see it. Issei. And where we will go. Griselda. In Canada there are many nice places to camp so it will be there. Issei. Great. Irina. We just need to leave in the morning by plane. The office. Don't worry, I'll do that. It won't be a big problem. Issei. Great, thanks office. She just nodded and continued with the food. After dinner they went to the living room and talked a little. By that time they had already enlarged the house so that everyone could rest in her room. The next day everyone was ready for the trip, of course the most excited was Issei. After everyone gathered, office opened a dimensional breach and everyone left the place. When they left they appeared near a lake. Issei. The view is beautiful. The girls nodded since they thought the same. After a few minutes of walking they arrived at a flat place to set up their tents. Issei. Well, whoever wants to go swimming with me in the lake, the water must be very cool. Some raised their hands and the rest stayed in place to fix it. Isaka. He looks like a child, being all excited. She said it while she watched him go to the lake with the others. Eride. But that makes it cuter. Broswis. Yes, someone like that is better than someone who is always serious. Griselda. Yes, we have to make him have fun since he has been fighting very often. Alicia. Too often I would say. Griselda. He would fight without stopping, but it is better that he takes some breaks from time to time. Isaka. Well, let's fix the place while they have fun. Alice. It wouldn't be easier with magic. Braphia. It's better to leave the supernatural behind and act like normal people, plus we're on vacation. Alice. Good. They all went to prepare things while Issei and the others arrived at the lake, and the first to enter was Issei. Issei. Come on, the water is cool. They could all see their scars, but they gave nothing and entered the lake. Serafal. You were right, they are very quality. Lefei. It's a nice place as Office-sama knew about here. Office. I passed by chance once and well I thought you would like it. Issei. And it's very cute. Stroking Office's head. She liked him doing that to her. Astrid. I don't think it'll be out for a while. Gabriel. I support you on that. Who knew? Too bad the others didn't come, they would have liked it. Aphrodite. They had to fix the place. 2 hours passed and the group decided to return to the others since it was late. When they arrived they saw several camping tents. Issei. It looked good on them, I should have helped them. Isaka. Don't worry, you're on vacation. Issei. Okay. And what we do? Irina. How about we play some volleyball? Issei. Sounds good. In this case, most of them make groups so that everyone can play. Not far from the place some university students were camping there and decided to go explore the place. While they were doing it they heard laughter and went to the place. When they were a little close, they managed to see several girls and were surprised by how pretty they were. Boy 1. Wow, they are very beautiful, they must not be from around here. Boy 2. It's our lucky day. Boy 3. You see, there is a boy with them, how lucky he is. Boy 4. Come on, don't worry, and he looks very weak, so there's no problem. Boy 5. But it's hard to believe there are such pretty girls in this place. Plus those bodies they have. I won. I told him it wasn't a bad idea to come camping. We are lucky. Boy 6. It's good that I came with you. These days will be great. Boy 2. Well, let's go and plan how to approach them. And how to remove that hindrance. The others just nodded and left the place without making much noise. Issei. Come on, I know you can do it. Roswis. How come you are so fast, or rather since when you know how to play? Issei. I would say instinct, hahaha. Irina. Even so, we are not going to give up. Hanu. They have everything to lose. We have Issei on our side. Astrid. Yes, I'm sorry. Kuroka. That's cheating. They continued their game until nightfall and everyone was in the middle of a bonfire. Issei. It's just how I imagine being around a bonfire with some marshmallows. Something is still missing. Aviana. And that would be. Issei. The horror stories. Although that would be difficult. Lefei. Because you say so. Issei. You have seen everything, I don't think some stories scare you. Athena. Well, you could try. Issei was going to answer. But they saw how a group of boys came out of some bushes. And their clothes were torn. Boy 1. Excuse me, do you have something to eat? Hanu just nodded and gave her something he had near her. Issei. My English is not that good. What he said. Lefei. They wanted something to eat. Issei. You know a lot. Lefei. Well, thanks to a spell I can speak and understand any language. I'll help you with that later. Issei. Thank you. Hanu. I'll give you something to make you like this. Boy 3. We were with our group and we got separated for a while and got lost. We've been searching all day. Astrid. Too bad for you. Giving them a smile. When the boys saw that smile they became more excited because they thought they believed them. But what they didn't know is that they knew more about their intentions than Gabriel knew just by seeing them. Chapter 64. The boys were happy since they believed them. Alicia. Come on, sit down, you must be tired from walking so much. Boy 4. Thank you. Taking a seat near some girls but they moved away a little. Issei. Well, what do we do with them? We help them return. At that Griselda approached Issei and whispered in her ear. Griselda. They are just pretending to be so they don't have good intentions. Issei. I see. Thank you for telling me. Griselda. Well, it's not very difficult to notice a pervert. Issei. And you want me to do something. Enemu approached both of them since she had heard her talk. Enemu? I have an idea. Issei. And that would be it. Enemu? Play along with them for a while and if they have too much fun they won't have good memories of their trip. Griselda. I won't do it, she doesn't like that just like Lady Gabriel. Enemu? I know just like Irina won't. I already communicated it to the rest and they are in favor. Issei. Just don't go too far, yeah. Enemu? That's up to them. Before I forget it, creating a small spell and throwing it at Issei. Enemu? With this you will be able to understand everything. Issei. Thank you. Enemu just gave him a smile and went to the others. Seraphil. Well, since you are tired you should go rest. We have several tents so take one and we can share. I4. Thanks and sorry for the inconvenience. Isaka. No problem. Boy 2. Where are you from? Isaka. From Japan. Boy 6. It's a nice place, just like you. Isaka. I hug you. Well, go rest and some of you have prepared the places. The boys just nodded and went to sleep. When the girls saw that, they only thought about what to do with them if they crossed the line. After a short talk they went to rest. The next day the group of boys were getting up with great spirits since their plan was going very well. Aviana. They rested well. Boy 2. Yes, thank you. Aviana. Take a seat, breakfast is ready. The boys just nodded and went to a large table where the others were and they were surprised as they noticed that the girls were prettier up close. Boy 1. And what are they doing in such a remote place? Kuroka. It has a beautiful view. I1. And how long do you plan to stay here? Kuroka. Maybe we'll leave tomorrow, we have things to do. Boy 1. The truth is I was surprised to see only girls, they are not afraid of being here alone. Kuroka. This is Issei with us. Boy 1. I see. After breakfast they went to explore the place. Walking through the forest. The boys were tired since they had not walked so much in their lives. And they noticed that the others were like nothing. Lefei. It's a nice day for walking, isn't it Issei? Issei. Yes, you are right. Not anywhere will you find such a view. At that point one of the boys approached the couple. I4. How long have they been together, they look good. Issei. Since we were little, she has been my childhood friend, so always. Boy 4. How lucky to have such a pretty girl by your side. And the others have partners. Lefei. Yes, they all have it. The boy just gave him a smile, but inside he was upset but he didn't care, he just wanted an adventure and to try their bodies. After a walk the group returned to the camp where some had stayed. Aphrodite. And how did it go? Issei. It was a good walk, there are good places. Office. Yes, it has a beautiful view. Boy 5. Excuse me, you're someone's daughter here. Office. You say that because of my height. The boy just nodded. Office. I'm older than you. After saying that he left the place. Isaka. Well while you were gone we went to look around and found a route for you to return. I won. That's great. Taking joy. Isaka. Take this map and I wish you luck on your journey. Boy 4. Wait, we can all go together. Enemu? We will go another way. Boy 2. It's better to travel together. Something can happen to beautiful ladies like you. Alicia. You know we can take care of ourselves very well. Boy 6. Come on, don't say that. Besides, he won't be able to take care of them alone. It looks very weak. Seraphol. You had already taken too long to reveal your true intentions. Boy 6. What do you mean? Rafia. It's easy to spot liars. And boy are you. Boy 2. Well there's no point in lying anymore. How not to take advantage of such an opportunity to see women as sexy as you. Boy 4. I don't know because that idiot hasn't done anything, maybe it's because he's gay. Gabriel. It's because he doesn't think about such things as you do. Boy 1. Well, let's stop playing games and let's get to the action. Boy 3. You're right, there is a lot of fun. Boy 6. First we have to get rid of the obstruction and let him see later. Saying that she approached Issei quickly with a smile and when she was about to hit him. Issei hit him in the face, causing the boy to fall unconscious to the ground. The other boys were surprised when they heard this. Issei. He doesn't like violence so it's better that you take your friend and leave. Boy 1. And pass up this opportunity to be with them. You were lucky. Issei just clenched his fists and Seraphol noticed it. Seraphol. Don't worry Issei, plus I have some phoenix tears. Issei just nodded and started walking towards the group of 5. At that point one wanted to hit Issei, but he grabbed his arm and threw him to the ground, making the boy scream in pain since the fall hurt him. One tried to approach Issei but was beaten, causing him to fall unconscious. Boy 3. Maybe you're their bodyguard. Issei. No. They can defend themselves from guys like you. But I won't let them touch people like you. But I'll let you go with your friends. Turning around. Boy 2. You think it's a big deal. When you're on the ground we'll make you see. He said it with a smile since he had his friends close to him. Issei got angry when he heard that. At that point he turned around and went to him. Seeing that he was approaching, the boy also walked and tried to hit Issei, but he deflected the attack and hit him several times and then kicked him. The other 2 mobs went to the attack and Issei broke one's arm, causing him to scream in pain and the other's leg was broken. Boy 1. You're crazy, this won't stay like this. My parents are going to find out and no one will be able to save you. Issei. Whatever you want. I only defended the people important to me. Hitting him in the face made him spit out some teeth. Boy 1. Monster. Issei. I've heard those words very often. But you know, I don't mind being a monster, just defending them is fine. The girls heard everything and couldn't help but blush when they heard that. Seraphol. In the end it wasn't necessary to use them. Issei. Well I don't want to leave them half dead. I held back a lot. Griselda. That's fine. Also, for half an hour, call the ranger. Enemu. It's not far away. It was better to leave. Issei. That's how the vacation ended in the end. Scratching the back of his head. Leviana. Well, open another moment. Boy 3. Do they think Iraq is that easy? Office. Yes. Created a dimensional gap. Those who were aware were surprised to see this. Boy 2. What are they? Alicia. Nothing that matters to you. Entered the place. Boy 2. This won't stay like this. Issei. Well if they can believe you. Being last and entering the gap. Minutes later the rangers arrived and were surprised to see the boys in that state. They asked him what happened and they gave them everything. But in the end no one believed them. They thought they were crazy or something. When the group arrived at the house after that, they separated as they had to return to their activities. Chapter 65. Issei and company were returning home after their trip. Arena. It was fun at the beginning, but the end was something else. Issei. What matters is that we had some fun. Alicia. You didn't have compassion for them. Issei. You know what I am. Alice. I know. Enemu. Well the fun is over, it's time to get back to work. Seraphol. It's boring. Issei. I wish you luck. At that Issei said goodbye to the majority. Issei. And what will you do? Kuroka. I'm going to go get some sleep, I'm tired. Lefei. I'll study a little so I'll be in the library. Office. I don't know. Roswis. I'm going to visit my grandmother. So see you later. Giving Issei a kiss on the cheek and leaving the place. Ingvold and Alicia went out to explore for a while and Office eventually left with Lefei, leaving Issei alone in the place since Astrid went with Roswis to see her family. Issei. Well, I'm left alone and what will I do now? Without any idea in mind she went out to walk a bit since she didn't have any missions to do either. During his walk he passed by a cafeteria and decided to enter the place. Issei. How quickly time passes and that group has more and more allies. I hope to be able to work with them in the future. He spent half an hour in the cafeteria and then went out again until he received a call. Issei. Something's wrong, Serafal. Serafal. Well, I just got to work and tell me you have time, so we'll tell you here. Issei. Sure. See you at the house. Serafal. Well, I'll go right away. After that short talk, Issei quickly went to her house, where it only took him 10 minutes to get there. When he did so, there was Serafal on the couch waiting for him. After that they both teleported to the underworld where the leaders were now, including Zeus. Issei greeted everyone. Azazel. Hey, how about the holidays? Issei. I'm not complaining, they were great. That's what they called me for. Surzich. It's not something more important, you see, Issei, we wanted to make an alliance with another faction. Issei. That sounds great, the more the better, but what do I have to see? Auden. We want you to go as one of the representatives. Issei. You know what happens when I go to those things. Zeus. They are calmer, I think. Issei. You think so? And who they are? Michael. The Shinto pantheon. Issei. More or less I know them from the academy classes, it will be great to meet them. Isaka. Then you will go. Issei. Sure, but what will I do there? Ajuka. Just support, since Auden and Azazel will go with you, they will talk and you will only go to observe that nothing happens. Issei. In short, I will be a bodyguard. Ajuka. Yes. Issei. Good, and just the three of us this time, no one else will go. Azazel. The less the better, so we avoid problems like that time. Issei. It wasn't my fault. Now that I remember how Zeus is. Zeus. He is as always, only after that defeat he has been training like crazy and hopes to be able to fight with you. Issei. As long as he doesn't say the same thing, I'm fine. Zeus. I'll tell him. Issei. Well, when do we leave? Auden. Tomorrow. Since the Cows Brigade has more and more allies and it is difficult for us to fight with them. There are more and more injuries. Issei. Okay, I'll be preparing. Serafal. Well, with that said, you can go rest and tomorrow you will have a very long day. Isaka. Issei, I ask you not to get into trouble. Issei. I will do my best. But I don't promise anything. Isaka and Serafal just let out a sigh as they knew something was going to happen. The men only laughed a little when they heard his answer. After that meeting, Issei returned to his house and saw that it was 2 in the afternoon, so he went to the living room and watched some TV. After 2 hours of watching comedy movies, the others began to arrive. Issei. You slept well. Hiroka. Yes, it was very relaxing. Issei. I'm glad to hear it, and tell me you're hungry so I'll prepare something for you. Hiroka. Thank you, but I'll wait for the others. And you know where Office and Leffe are. Issei. In the library. Hiroka. How boring. At that moment Roswis and Astrid arrived. Issei. How did it go? Astrid. Well, although father kept asking me a lot of questions about how I was doing and all that. Roswis. I was able to talk to my grandmother and she taught me some things. Issei. That's good. Astrid. And what did you do? Issei. I went out for a walk and a coffee and later I went to the underworld. Someone was going to ask him, but Ingvold and Alicia arrived and Leffe and Office appeared. Ingvold. What were you talking about since you're all gathered together? Issei. I was just telling you that I went to the underworld. Alicia. And what did you go to do there? Issei. I had a meeting with the leaders since they want to make an alliance with the Shinto pantheon. The girls were surprised to know that. Leffe. Let me guess, Ira is also not like that. Issei. Yes. Alice. Don't get into trouble. Issei. I'll try and tell me someone knows what they are like. Leffe. Not really. Issei. And you, Alicia? Alicia. No idea, I was almost never interested in the other factions. Astrid. Then you will get a surprise, and when you leave. Issei. Tomorrow. Ingvold. So soon. Issei. There are many enemies and well, we need help. That's what the leaders told me. Alice. Yes, I know. Furthermore, the group where my brother is has not done anything yet, they are just waiting for the opportunity to attack. Roswis. There are more and more problems, this will never end. Issei. Come on, don't worry, you don't have to think about it so much now. Leffe. Yes. I hope they make it so we have more help. Issei. Maybe in the future all the factions will unite to stop the bad guys. Office. Maybe. They must also talk to the dragons. Issei. And you can't, since you are a goddess, you must be like their leader. Office. They won't listen to me, some are independent, so for them to listen to you you must defeat them. Issei. Wow, what a problem, but maybe Tannen can convince them to help us. Office. Maybe. Leffe. Well, let's leave this topic. I don't like to talk about wars so much. Issei. Okay, listen and tell me how your classmates are doing. Leffe. Well. Bali and Hero fight often to see who is stronger. And Biku only sleeps, he is very lazy and my brother trains with the knights. Issei. Wow, don't waste your time. Alicia. Well, those two carriers of the celestial dragons were always seen fighting. Ingvald. Maybe they don't get bored of fighting so much. Office. Maybe one day they will both fight against Issei since he defeated them both. Issei. I hope that time doesn't come, I don't have time for unnecessary fights. Astrid. Don't worry if they try something we will stop them we are not weak. Issei. I know they are strong. But be careful. Office. It won't be a problem to defeat them. Hiroka. Not for you, but for us, yes. Now that I think about it, tell me Office. In a battle against Issei he could beat you. The others paid attention to know his response. Office. Yes. The girls were surprised to know his answer. Issei. Come on Office, don't lie to them. You're stronger than me. Office. From what I've seen, you could. Issei. I hope I never fight you. You would beat me very quickly. But hey, it's a little late, how about we go out to dinner? All the girls nodded. At that point the entire group leaves the house heading to the nearest restaurant. The next day 3 people went to see the Japanese gods to sign an alliance. Issei. It's going to be a long day. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown in left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.